morning, one and all. I, Dr. Harita Desai, Assistant Professor of Pharmacy, Bombay College of Pharmacy, welcome all delegates to the half-day webinar on Rise of Dermacosmeceutical Market as an upcoming trend and opportunities for pharma graduates. The webinar is organized by the Indian Pharmaceutical Association, Maharashtra State Branch, Bombay College of Pharmacy, Department of Pharmaceutics under the aegis of IQAC Cell, Bombay College of Pharmacy. With this brief introduction, I now call upon Professor Krishnapriya Mohanraj Ma'am, Principal Ma'am for Bombay College of Pharmacy, to give an introduction to Bombay College of Pharmacy and details about the college. I welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you, Harita. It is my pleasure to be here on this occasion of this half-day webinar. And I have the privilege of introducing Bombay College of Pharmacy to all the delegates present at this webinar. And we start with Bombay College of Pharmacy. This is a picture of Bombay College of Pharmacy. We are a 63-year-old institute. We started in 1957. And our vision is to be a leader in pharmacy education, pharmacy training, and research in pharmaceutical science. The college is run by the Indian Pharmaceutical Association, Maharashtra State Branch, a professional body, and was set up with the support of the pharmaceutical industry, and they have played a great role. The various industries have played a great role in the making of Bombay College of Pharmacy. Next slide, please. College is approved by PCI, AICTE, UGC, and DT. We have permanent affiliation to the University of Mumbai. Bombay College of Pharmacy is recognized by the Department of Scientific and Industrial Research as a Scientific and Industrial Research Organization, SIRO. And the B Farm program is NBA accredited. We have got the autonomous status in 1920 for a period of 10 years. Okay, from 2019-20. So we have now completed 1 year of being autonomous. We are in the second year of being autonomous. Bombay College of Pharmacy also has the AICTE QIP Center, where it's a quality improvement program center, where the faculty who wish to do PhD can pursue their PhD degree. Next slide. Coming to our courses, we have the B Farm, M Farm, and PhD. B Farm, we have 60 in the aided category, and this year we have started with 40 in the unaided category. The second year, we have 6 seats of lateral entry, that is the diploma students who can directly join the second year B Farm. We have M Farm in 5 branches: pharmaceutics, pharmaceutical chemistry, pharmacology, pharmacognosy, pharmaceutical analysis. And in PhD, we have 35 seats. So the total, the number, we have also conducting a few certificate courses. So one of the courses that we conduct is on data analytics in healthcare in collaboration with Navigo Analytics. And very soon we are planning a course on IPR in novel drug delivery systems and specialty products. Next slide. We are very proud that we have always had a national institutional ranking framework of the Ministry of Human Resource Development in the category of pharmacy within the first 25. We have ranging from the 6th, 8th, 15th to 24th. Next slide. Bombay College of Pharmacy has won the AICTE-CII Best Industry Linked Pharmacy Institute right from the inception of this award. So 2012, 13, 13, 14 and 14, 15, we won this 3 times in a row. And the third time they placed us in the mentor category and mentioned that now you cannot, apply for a few years. And we mentored various institutes, and in 2018-19 our mentee institute stood first, and we were given a special prize in 2018-19. Next slide. We are also proud that Bombay College of Pharmacy won the 6th FICCI Higher Education Excellence Award 2019 for excellence in enabling the research environment. This is very special because this was a special jury mention award. And this was not in a specific category. This was, we were competing with all institutes on a national level and from different branches, not only from pharmacy. We've also received Bombay College of Pharmacy in the last 5 years have received more than 10 crores of research funding from government agencies and 1 crore of research grant from industrial projects and consultancy. Next slide. We also won the National Education Leadership Award in 2019, and we have MOUs with various foreign universities also. Here there's a picture about the signing of the MOU with Duquesne University, Pittsburgh, USA in 2019. Next slide. We also have the National Facility for Research and Training in Integrated Analytical Strategies for discovery, development, and testing of drugs, pharmaceuticals, and nutraceuticals under the Drugs and Pharmaceutical Research Promotion Program of the Department of Science and Technology, a 5.87 crore project. And in this, we have high-end sophisticated instruments like LC-MS-MS, ICP-MS, HPTLC-MS, and HPLC and UHPLC. I would really appreciate that, if anybody needs to avail of these facilities, they can contact us, and we'll be very proud to, very happy to, be of service. Next. This is just one slide on a few collaborations that we have. It just runs into many slides, but it just put up one slide, few of the industry and mainly about the various universities abroad where we have had collaborations. Next slide, please. We can connect with us. This is our website, and we have the various social media handles, and we also have the BCP Alumni Association. So with these few words, I would like to welcome all the delegates and our speaker to this half-day's webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I now call upon Dr. Ujjwala Shinde ma'am, Head of the Department of Pharmaceutics, for the half-day webinar. Ma'am, I welcome you for the webinar.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Harita. Good morning to our speaker, faculties, and delegates. I welcome you for half a day seminar on the rise of dermaceutical markets as an upcoming trends and opportunities for pharma graduate students. As the lifestyle of people around the world is changing due to socio-culture, economic, and other influences, many new industries are emerging. The personal care industry is one such industry which has new hot topic, that is cosmeceuticals or dermaceuticals, which is the fastest growing segment of the personal care industry. Dermaceuticals can be defined as the pharmaceutical products used in the treatment of dermatological disorders. They include active and science based skincare products to treat various dermatological conditions. Moreover, several products termed cosmetics are used in day to day life for enhancing the fairness, glow, or as an anti-aging preparation, sunscreen preparations, topical antiperspirants, deodorants, moisturizing lotions, and creams, etc. Formulation of topical preparations or dermaceuticals is continuously evolving science and need thorough understanding of skin, its functions, disease states, and design considerations. There are a range of advances in cosmeceutical due to competitive market, and lot of attention has been directed towards more sophisticated systems such as microemulsions and liposomes as an alternative to traditional creams and ointments. Indian cosmeceutical industry has been majorly focused on skincare, hair care, lip care, and other product segments, out of which both skincare and hair care have grown at higher pace in past few years. Utility of dermaceuticals has been considerably increased in recent years, and this radically inclined the techniques of dermatologists in improving the treatment of skin. The value growth of dermaceutical products over the years has been impaired by changing consumer perception. Nowadays, consumers they prefer natural cosmeceutical products as compared to synthetic products. Global dermaceutical market is huge and evolving quickly. Taking into this consideration the ever increasing cases of dermal disorders and rapidly growing market of dermal products, this seminar is organized in collaboration with Western Commercial Corporation to give an overview of versatile aspects of various Western commercial corporation specialty ingredients and their prospective applications in formulation development. Furthermore, career opportunities in dermacosmeceutical markets will be also discussed. Western Commercial Corporation represents world's renowned makers of specialty ingredients from Japan that are used in personal care industry. Western Commercial Corporation has been working on solutions to Dermacare and trichology issues, multifunctional ingredients, various ingredients for dermal claims and sensorial feel, and provide all technical support to pharma and cosmetic companies in India. With this few words, I take this opportunity to introduce our speaker, Ms. Pooja Dubey. Ms. Pooja is working as business development leader with Western Commercial Corporation. She is skilled in pharmaceutical chemistry, public speaking, management, leadership, and teamwork. She has been topper in MPharm from VA's College of Pharmacy. She has been awarded Best Vescopian Award for the year 2016-17. She was awarded with Chintana Garudant of the Exhibition Award for the poster competition organized by Chintana Prakashan for the year 2005. With this brief introduction, I invite Pooja to start with the webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for the wonderful introduction. So you
Yeah,
have,
thank you, Pooja.
thank you. So you have already mentioned a lot of things about our company and myself. So basically, I would just like to start the presentation by saying this, why we actually thought of conducting this kind of webinar. Because when the pharma graduates, when they come for interview, so they are not really aware what the field is exactly about. So we thought that let us take this initiative and try and educate more and more pharma graduates about this field. And once they know what exactly the field is about, we can then start with the, they can be more confident when they enter into this field. So with this, I would like to start my presentation. Please let me know once that is visible. Is that visible?
Hello.
Yes. Is that visible?
Yes, yes, it is visible. We can see the screen. It is right now on the presentation mode, so I will request you to put it on slideshow mode.
One second. Now, is it on the slideshow mode?
No, I still see it in the presentation only.
From my side, actually, it is in the slideshow mode. Let me share it again. Please give me a moment.
Yeah, sure.
Is it okay now?
No, I still see it in the presentation mode only. Can you,
Oh,
I think what you can do is stop the sharing and
yeah,
again reshare the whole thing. So maybe that will help.
I'll do. I'll do. Is it visible now? Is it
Yeah, can you
visible
put
now?
it in the slideshow mode?
It is already in the slideshow mode from my end.
Uh,
Is it
yeah, can you
visible
put
now?
it in the slideshow mode? What I will request you put it in the slideshow mode first and then probably share the screen so that we can directly see the PPT in that mode. Can you just try that
Yes.
out?
Yes, so I did that.
Yeah, just try it again.
I think it should be visible now. Is it?
Oh, yes, it is. It is. It
Yes.
is.
Okay. Fantastic.
That's it.
So
Yeah.
now finally I can start. Thank you very much. So as I mentioned, why we thought of this taking as a webinar. So in this presentation, I will be talking about what the dermacosmeceutical market is, how it is emerging, what are the current trends, what are the upcoming trends, and the opportunities for pharma graduates specifically to dermacosmeceutical market. I will also touch upon the other opportunities for the pharma graduates initially, and then eventually we'll go to dermacosmeceutical market. So to start with, what is pharmacy? I know you all are very well aware about the pharmacy field because you are already a part of this industry. But still, just to have a start, Pharmacy is the art and science of manufacturing and dispensing drugs and biologicals to prevent or cure the disease, thereby preserving the health of humanity at large. Now, WHO has estimated that there are at least 2.6 million pharmacists and other pharmaceutical personnel worldwide. Why pharmacy as a career? The pharmaceutical industry in India is the world's third largest in terms of volume, only industry to record profits and create jobs even in the global slowdown, which was there from the year 2003 to 2009. Now, pharmaceutical industry is actually the second only largest sector wherein the R&D spending is there after the Indian defense. In terms of net export, India has topped the world in exporting the generic drugs. So, first of all, be proud that you are a part of this industry. Now, this I have mentioned specifically because I know that while coming to third year or final year, students have this in mind, why are we in pharmacy? It's nothing great here. So, first of all, be proud of that you are in this industry. Now, coming on to pillars of pharmaceutical sciences, here comes the pillars: pharmaceutical chemistry, pharmaceutics, pharmacology, pharmacognosy, pharmaceutical analysis. So, all these five are very different subjects. They have altogether different literature, and you can excel in any of these fields. So, coming on to the career opportunities after the pharma as in the D farm, B farm, as well as M farm, you have a lot of opportunities. For example, first of all, you can go for the higher education. For example, M farm in any kind of branch, the specialization you can do. You can go for PhD after your masters. If you don't want to go for your higher studies, you still have a lot many opportunities. For example, you can join the community pharmacy or hospital pharmacy. You can opt for jobs in the field of R&D, F&D, or maybe the packaging technology, the drug regulatory affairs, quality assurance control, production, manufacturing. Academics is one of the good option. Marketing is one of the good option. You can also go for government jobs, for example, drug inspectors, drug controllers, assistant commissioner, or maybe the government pharmacist. So for that, you have to give the competitive exams as well. And there's a set criteria for each of this kind of government job. So that information you will actually have from internet as well, or maybe you can connect to any of us anytime. So, and also the regulatory bodies, or if you already have a chemist shop from your family, so you can also be a part of that chemist shop. Entrepreneurship is one of a very good opportunity which you can think of. So these are the various career opportunities which you can actually think of after your pharma graduation or diploma or the masters. Now this was a very general picture. You can also go for specific fields into the pharmacy, like you have other opportunities, for example, nuclear pharmacy, pharmacotherapy, pharmacovigilance, forensic pharmacy, and all these are actually the upcoming trends in pharma field as well. So this is a very general picture which I am giving. Now eventually we'll enter into the dermatology. So what is dermatology? Dermatology is the branch of pharmaceuticals dealing with the skin. It is specialty with both medical and surgical aspects. A dermatologist is a specialist doctor who manages who manages the diseases related to skin, hairs, nails, and cosmetic issues. See, in past, if we had any kind of problem, generally people would go to the general physician or the family doctor. But now, since the customer is more educated, the people are more educated, they actually go to dermatologist because they know that dermatologist has much more understanding about the skin, hair, and all the issues related to that kind of area. So dermatology and dermatologist is a very flourishing segment. Now, coming on to the market share of dermatology. So, the dermatology market has emerged growing therapy segment in the domestic market over the last 3 years. Now, it is already outperforming the larger categories of diabetes and cardiac treatments with prescriptions as well as OTC formulations. Now, You see, in India, we already know that diabetes and cardiac issues are more prevalent rather as compared to any other issue. So, in the recent years, this derma market has already surpassed those kinds of areas as well. And 8,700 crores, the dermatology market is the new king of the pharma sector. Coming on to the market segmentation, this is actually divided into various parts. For example, general dermatology, cosmetic dermatology, Mohs surgery, dermatopathology, and others. Out of which we'll be focusing on the general dermatology and cosmetic dermatology. So the creams, ointments which you see from the pharmaceutical industries for the therapeutic effects, those are the general dermatology products. When we say cosmetic dermatology, these products are actually having the cosmetic actives in addition to the pharma actives sometimes. Or maybe it's only the cosmetic active that is giving that kind of therapeutic activity. So, our main focus for today's session would be general dermatology and cosmetic dermatology. Coming on to the product segmentation, first of all, when it comes to the product type, so for the dermacosmeceutical product, you have cleansers, the acne treatment products, skin moisturizers, sunscreens, scar and stretch mark products, skin whitening products, and the list goes on. It's flourishing like anything. For the sales channels, it's again similar to the other kind of areas, like you have modern trade, you have specialty stores, mono brand stores, franchisee stores, drug stores, online retailers, and again the sales channels is also increasing nowadays. There's the adoption of digital technology, so you will see a lot of online retailers as well. Consumer orientation, this is very important. See, for any kind of market you actually need to understand who your consumer would be. So here the consumer orientation is basically divided into three types: female, male, and kids. Now again there are subtypes over here as well, like for example kids, then again they are divided into baby care. For female, there's again a different sector like mother care. So there's again a subdivision for this. But when it comes to the main criteria, it is female, male, and kids. Forms, you can see ointments, creams, gels, sticks, wipes, oils, powders, and now there's much more advancement in terms of forms as well. You will actually observe different sensorials when it comes to the forms in the various products. Region, I have just mentioned a few over here, but it is the market which is flourishing globally. But there are some loopholes in derma market. See, what the loophole is: the feel and the sensories. And here the cosmetics come into picture. See, whenever a doctor prescribes you something, you will not actually think how the product will have the sensorials or how does it feel. What you will say, the doctor has prescribed and I'll have to apply the medicine if I have to get cured. But now with the changing trends, with the changing scenario in the world, people are keen towards the feel and the sensories. If they are not having the good sensorials, they will not try that kind of product. Even if it is prescribed by doctor, maybe in the second visit they will ask the doctor to prescribe something else because the product actually lacked the sensories. So this is where the cosmetics come into picture because they have very good sensories, the smell, and also various claims. So the understanding of the areas of market where the growth will occur. So some wise people actually identified this loophole and they have actually developed the dermacosmeceutical as a sector. So as the name suggests, dermacosmeceuticals, the dermatology part, the derma is from the dermatology part, that is the pharmaceutical, and the cosmetics. So this is actually the amalgamation of pharmaceutical and cosmetics in one. So if you go to look at it, cosmeceuticals and pharmacosmeceuticals, there's a very slight difference between this, and the cosmeceuticals actually lie in between personal care and pharmaceuticals. So these are the topical cosmetics that have the medicinal or drug-like benefits. Okay. So, and then we also have nutraceuticals as a different sector, which is somewhere in between pharmaceuticals and nutrition. So nutraceuticals will actually be the products that are derived from food sources that provide extra health benefits. So these are again subdivided as dietary supplements, functional beverages, functional foods. So this is the nutraceuticals actually are for the most of the times these are the oral dosage forms, but the cosmeceuticals are mostly the topical dosage forms. Both of these sectors actually work on the beauty and general health, and then again you have a different field of nutri cosmetics as well. So again these are the formulations that go inside the body but work on the external beauty of the body and also the wellness. So this was the kind of segmentation. When you look at the personal care product market, you can see from the for all the four segments, the cosmetic and personal care and the cosmeceuticals, nutraceuticals. So they are experiencing a rise even in the global slowdown. Because now people are more aware, they want new things, new sensorials, and along with the health benefits. Now, specifically after the COVID scenario, people are very well aware and they are actually opting for products that are giving them the guarantee that they will be very safe after using this product. So coming on to the global derma cosmeceutical market dynamics, what is launches and approvals. You will see in the recent months, even when there was lockdown, you would have seen that there are too many products that are being launched by various new startups as well as the existing companies. So basically, what is trending? You will have to come up with new product in a shorter period of time with all the efficacy data and all the safety data. That is the current trend. Rising in the number of collaborations and acquisitions is another trend. Because of the globalization, there's a rise in the number of collaborations and acquisitions. What are the drivers for this market? Growing purchasing power of consumers. Now, consumers have a growth in their purchasing power. In the earlier times, people were not into spending too much on self care, but because of the changing scenario, the changing era, people actually have a growth in the purchasing power as well. There's also the increase in the inclination towards spending on the appearance. Now, as we all know, this is the case that everyone wants to look good, everyone wants to look fit and fine. So there's always an increased inclination towards spending on appearance. Increasing the prevalence of skin diseases, as Ujwala ma'am has also mentioned, that there's an increase in the skin diseases. So this is again one of the driver for this dermacosmeceutical market, and rising the number of dermacosmetic conferences. So because of all this, there are number of conferences that are taking place on a global level. So that is again driving the market, because from there people actually get new ideas and then they try and innovate the products. There are some restraints. For example, the counterfeiting skincare product, if the similar activity product is already in the market, then you experience a lot of competition, and then you will actually have to prove the efficacies of your products and how the product is better than the counterfeiting product. So that is one of the restraint. Strict government regulation about the usage of ingredients in dermacosmetics products. So this is one of the very important point, because whenever we talk about the dermacosmeceutical as a sector, what kind of ingredient you're using in that product, how safe it is, will it affect the activity of the API, or will it be better than API, or maybe will it be synergistic, or it will reduce the side effect. Whatever the activity is, you will have to explain it thoroughly to the government authorities, and you will have to have all the documentation being completed and fulfilled as per the need. So because of this strict government regulation, people actually face sometimes the difficulties in launching their products. So this is one of the restraint. And high competition. Now this is applicable for any kind of market, as you all know. Opportunities. Having these restraints as well, but there are opportunities, for example, high inclination towards the personalized products. Now, you would have seen that in these recent years, there are being many startups which are actually providing the personalized cosmetics or maybe the personalized products, not only the cosmetics, but also the dermacosmeceutical product. Most of these are the dermacosmeceutical product which you see nowadays. Now, coming on to the core competencies of dermacosmeceuticals. So, basically, the need. Now, this slide will actually give you an idea what are the needs of the dermacosmeceutical market, and if you have any kind of inclination towards those kind of areas, you could think of entering into the dermacosmeceutical market. For example, more scientific background. You cannot come with a product where you are not really aware about the background of that product. You need to have some kind of scientific background. You cannot come with any kind of product and make any stories and say that, okay, you I am ready to launch the product. Authorities will not allow. So more scientific background is one of the need of the dermacosmeceutical market. And if you are inclined towards the scientific backgrounds, if you like to learn the mechanisms, chemistries, so you can think of entering the dermacosmeceutical market. Clarity of chemistry and mechanisms. For any kind of product, you should be very thorough about the chemistry of that product as well as the mechanism, how the product will actually work into your body, or maybe how it will enter the system. So that kind of clarity is needed. So if you have the inclination towards this, you can again think of entering the dermacosmeceutical market. Promised performances. Now, this is very important. So, you have to deliver the efficacy, whatever you are mentioning it on the label of the product. For example, if you say that it's an anti-aging product, you should have the evidence that is showing the anti-aging efficacy of that product. You cannot just say that because I have used this, it should deliver. There is no space for should. It is delivering, there's a space. So you will have to give this promised performance evidence when you come up with any kind of product, or else the authorities will screw you if they come to know that you have made any kind of false claim. Availability of various in vitro and in vivo reliable data. This is again very important for any kind of product. If you are saying that it is efficacious, it is safe, it can never be just on paper. You will have to produce enough of in vitro and in vivo data for any kind of product. So if you are interested in lab testings and this kind of data generation, you can again think of entering into the dermacosmeceutical market. Various claims. This is very interesting and very much flourishing in the market, because you will have the products with various claims. Now, initially the market was like one product, one or two claim, but now because of the changing scenario, people are looking for products that are having number of claims in a single product, which is also then in a way pocket friendly to them, because for any kind of efficacy they will not have to spend on five different products. Maybe they can have just one or two product which will deliver the efficacies that were there in all those five products. So various claims into a product is again very interesting. Matching the unmet clinical needs unlike the conventional solutions available in the market. So this is again a point where you should have a focus upon. If you are opting for some product which is already there in the market, for example any kind of anti-acne ointment, for example, or maybe cream, so you should actually match the unmet clinical needs, which is already which is not being matched by the conventional products. So there you have the catch point and the crisp point where you can promote your product into the market, that because the existing products does not have this kind of advantage, and because my product have this kind of advantage, you should opt for my product. So that is something where you need to actually put your mind to. Similar commercial references from global market, if you have any. For example, if you have to launch some kind of product in India, and you know that that kind of product is available in some country abroad, maybe Japan or China, or maybe any kind of global market, you can put up those kind of commercial references into the market, and then you can say that okay, this Indian product is on the similar lines of that kind of global market, because we all know that products that are available globally are too much into the premium range, and Indian market is not into a very premium range. It is somewhere in between mid premium. So you can develop that kind of product as well, and complete marketing story for the promotion. This is, as you all know, this is applicable for any kind of product, any kind of business that you offer. So complete marketing story is again very important. What is trending in the market? Protective personal care. Because you know uh, some time ago it was just the personal care, just the rinsing, just the effective cleansing, that was the overall case. But because of this COVID scenario also, there's an inclination towards the protective personal care. So the personal care products that I'm using should also give some kind of antibacterial effect, or maybe something that will give the germ shield to me. So that is something which describes the protective personal care. Solutions to top Dermacare issues. We have actually sorted out some of the top Dermacare issues where the global market works upon. And if you are providing solutions to those top Dermacare issues, then you can get your business like anything. So that is again one of the trend in the market, which we will be actually talking about in our next session. Solutions to top trichology issues. Now, as I said that Dermacare relates to the skin issues, trichology is a segment that relates to the hair and scalp issues. So if you are providing the solutions to trichology issues, if you can come up with something very novel, that is also very trending. You can see that there are many products into the market already available for this kind of therapies. Therapeutic and trending concepts. Now, therapeutic and trending concepts is something where you have the product which will have the promised efficacies for a specific issue, for example, acne. So, for acne, it should have the therapeutic activity, and also it should be a trending concept. Like, for example, now no one would like to use the conventional ointment which was there a few time ago from the pharmaceutical industry. So that the sensories also play the important role over here. So therapeutic and trending concepts. Concept formulations, you can come up with altogether new concept formulation. Just to give an example, in the recent times you would have seen a lot of companies have actually launched vegetable washes. Now vegetable wash was not something which anyone had thought of before the COVID era. It was just the simple washing with water. But because of this scenario, companies have actually come up with vegetable wash where they say that it will not only remove the dirt, but also the bacteria and all the possible organisms from this. So that is something which is an example of concept formulation. You have developed a formulation based on a concept. So that is again very much trending. Ingredients that doormats love. There are some specific ingredients that the dermatologists love to prescribe. For example, you have formulations with kojic acid, or maybe arbutin, nicotinamide, niacinamide, vitamin C. So these are the ingredients that are being categorized into the ingredients that dermats love. So what companies are doing, they are actually taking one of these ingredient into consideration and developing a whole regimen depending upon this one ingredient. Skin and hair essentials. So for example, by repetitive washes, you lost some of your proteins, or maybe the moisturizing from your skin and hair. So if you are giving back those kinds of elements to your body again through a formulation, those are actually specifically categorized into skin and hair essentials. So this is again one of the trend. So I will again come back to this in my later slides. Coming on to the key mega trends, globalization, as I already mentioned, because of the greater numbers of the personal care product manufacturers, there's again a globalization, and the products now can have the access in the global market. Functionality and performances. because of all these things, the globalization, there's more focus on the R&D sector as well. Urbanization. So the urbanization is again one of the area because of the rise of urban middle class population, which is fueling the growth of consumption and demand. Health and wellness, as I already mentioned, that people are very much aware about their health now, and they are opting for products that will help them for long term wellness and not just for the short term effects. And the low carbon economy, now this goes for the reduction for overall carbon footprint. So the environment lovers are actually opting for this kind of technologies and ingredients. COVID impact. Now, as we all know, it had a great impact on various business segments and economy. And while it is not clear when the fear over the the coronavirus will come to an halt, now we are actually a bit relaxed because of the vaccine, but still we'll have to take care. So, the personal hygiene segment will continue to grow in that area. And now we have here the top changing trends in the Indian beauty industry, which eventually is bringing up more opportunities for innovations in the dermacosmeceuticals. So, key market drivers specifically after the COVID era are the beauty from within approach, the increasing beauty concern, demand for natural and aging population. So, these are the market drivers. We'll go into them one by one. So, coming on to the concepts that are being trending into the market and also will play a very important role in the upcoming trend. First, we have amino science, which is an approach towards clean beauty. So, amino science actually relates to the safety and environmental consciousness. So, safety of consumer will play an important role such that the product should not cause any kind of health issue or undesirable effects post usage as well. And also, there will be concerns for the cleanliness. Already people are very much concerned about this, that what product I am buying, and am I buying the safe product, where are they made, under what conditions, and by whom. So this is one of the concerns. So providing the evidence or certifications and seals of approval that denotes the product safety will be necessary, and this is one of the area where the pharma graduate can focus upon. If the candidate is actually interested into documentation or regulatory kind of issues, they can actually opt for this kind of segment. So, amino science basically is an amalgamation of amino plus science. Amino represents the amino acids. Now, we all know that human body is made up of protein, and proteins are the long chains of amino acids. We all have read this. So, people are already using this kind of concept into their products because amino acids are already from the human body and from the environment, so they are safe. And sustainable, vegan, natural, organic, these are some of the buzzwords which you actually hear nowadays more in the beauty and cosmetic industry and also the pharmaceutical industry in some cases. So when someone formulates a product with the incorporation of amino acids or maybe the derivatives of amino acids, for example, arginine, glycine, cysteine, all these kinds are 20 essential amino acids, as we all know. So that is basically amino science as a concept. Just to give an example, Colgate has the toothpaste with amino shakti. So that is also an example of amino science. Coming on to the second concept, which is smart beauty. Now, smart beauty is actually the beauty with ingredients wherein they have the multiple efficacies, and these are the simpler and smart formulas. Now, in this kind of products, they do not use n number of products into one formulation. What they do is they formulate a simple formula with maybe one ingredient which is having the multiple activity. So this is also giving rise to the minimalist approach. So consumers actually are opting for less materialistic approach that requires less time and less maintenance, low maintenance basically. Also, less makeup and more natural looks, including the natural hair texture and color, will be in trend. Now, what are the benefits of these multifunctional products? For example, First advantage you have is the multiple claims. You don't need to use n number of products. That again reduces your costing, your time, and also the R&D, the amount of effort that you need to put in to check the compatibility of various ingredients. So all those things are being reduced when you use a multifunctional ingredient. Lower inventory. Now this is very important when it comes to the industrial part, because maintaining the inventories is again a challenge in industry. So lower inventory. Versatility. This is again very important, as the name itself suggests, versatile. So multifunctional ingredients are most of the times versatile. Improved functionality. For example, if you have an ingredient which is giving the activity like that of the API and also reducing the side effects of API at the same time, so again you have the improved functionality in your formulation. And cost effective, as I have been mentioning it again and again, because cost is a restraint when it comes to the Indian market. So again, the use of multifunctional ingredient is very important, and these are the advantages. Coming on to another concept, that is health and wellness. So this is actually beauty with care for long term wellness. Now you see, the rise in the world's leading health problems, including the pandemic, contribute to the demand for innovative health and wellness related products. So today, consumers actually pursuit for clean beauty that reflects the widespread with a greater focus of long-term wellness. Now, people want to make sure that whatever they are using should give them a long-term wellness and not just the short-term effect. So this has actually developed the space of skin and hair essentials. For example, you can see unisex products into the market that are for health and wellness. And there's always an increased acceptance for this kind of product, because in India, the people opt for this kind of products, which are actually the unisex products, which everyone from the family can use. So here are some of the trending concepts. The first one is the NMF concept, wherein the natural moisturizing factor that is already present in the body is being identified, and the ingredient that will actually either increase the NMF, or maybe the ingredient that is like that of the NMF is used in the formulation. And then you have the moisturizing, and basically you are providing the skin which was lost because of some kind of external stimuli. Another concept is the ceramide concept, wherein the ingredients that are similar to ceramide, or maybe that mimic the activities like that of ceramide, the repairing of the damaged skin, the repairing of the damaged hair, those kinds of claims, they actually come from this ceramide concept. Protein concept. Now, whenever you are using any kind of protein in your formulation, whether it is skincare or hair care, you can say that your formulation is with the protein concept. Just to give you an example, you would have observed that companies have launched shampoos with the claims of keratin protein, or maybe albumin, the egg protein, or rice protein, rice milk, you would have noticed. So all these, and also in case of skincare, you would have seen the goodness of milk protein for moisturization. So all these concepts actually come under the protein concept. Then comes the antioxidant concept and anti-inflammatory concept. So if you are using some ingredient which has the antioxidant activity, so this will actually help you in anti-aging, because oxidation of cells is always linear to the aging process. So antioxidant and anti-inflammatory concepts generally go hand in hand. But again, in case of anti-inflammatory, you have the advantage of using the ingredients that will not cause any kind of inflammation, and also will reduce the erythema from the skin, that is because of the existing product. So again, these kinds of concepts generally are into the skin and hair essentials, because all these, as you can see, NMF, ceramide, protein, oxidation, I mean the antioxidant and anti-inflammatory, most of these are already present into the skin or hair. and they are lost because of this some external stimuli. So providing it back again through a formulation gives rise to these kinds of concepts. In-home skincare, now another concept. Now, we all have seen that salon treatments have experienced a shortfall, and this has actually given rise to in-home skincare treatments. So there are fewer makeup scenarios now. Home makeup, mask makeup, contrast makeup are something that are into the trend, because when someone is wearing a mask, maybe for specifically for female, when they are wearing mask, they know that lips are being hidden, but eyes are something which people can see, which people are seeing. So they actually have a focus on eye makeup in that case. So that is something which is actually giving rise to the fewer makeup scenarios. Full on regimens will be replaced by simple care regimens with fewer steps. For example, you had a salon procedure which actually had 5 steps. But now, since that procedure is being taken care at home, the companies are launching the products that have either 2 or 3 steps, or maybe a single step product that can perform equivalent to all those 5 steps. So, it is always easier for a person to use that one single product instead of using those 5 products like that of salon. So this again includes the use of multifunctional ingredients. And as I already mentioned, that multifunctional ingredients play very important role in beauty care industry, or maybe dermacosmeceuticals for that matter. Coming on to the next concept, the neurocosmetics. So neurocosmetics are the products for mental well-being. So they actually work on the neurological level that gives the soothing effect by releasing the feel-good chemicals. So the products that can provide relaxation, those kinds of products will be preferred. And generally, these kinds of products include the ingredients from botanical or marine origin, giving good moisturization effects that, people generally prefer the products that give good moisturizing effect, because when your skin is moisturized, you automatically feel fresh and supple. So these are the kind of ingredients from marine and botanical origin that can be used. And also the aroma infused products. These kind of products will experience a rise in demand because they will actually work on the neurological levels and give some kind of soothing effect, the mental relaxation. So neurocosmetics is something which is again into demand and will be rising in the coming time as well. Another sector, men's grooming. Now, this is an emerging area which actually consists of care, cleansing, grooming. So, the concept that only women should use various beauty products and toiletries has changed now. Men are conscious about their hygiene and grooming. Men's grooming and hygiene product range will continue to expand. And unique skincare, hair care, oral hygiene, body hygiene, shaving, and beard products for men will be in demand. Now, you see in the market, you will have a lot of products for a single area. For example, for shaving, earlier men used to use only the shaving cream or maybe the aftershave lotion, but now you have much more products. Similarly, it goes for beard. Now there's a craze for beard nowadays. So you have beard shampoo, beard conditioner, beard lotion, a lot of products, beard softening cream, natural wax. All these are various products for a specific area. So this kind of advancement is continuously there in this market, and men's grooming is something which will continue to expand. Coming on to the second last part of our concepts, beauty claims. Now, this is the most focused area for any kind of product segment in the dermacosmeceutical market. And this is again very important in this new normal, the post COVID era. It is very important. As you can see, here are some of the general claims. For example, for all skin types, paraben free, organic product, organic, not tested on animal, gluten free, natural ingredients. Now, these are some of the general claims which you already see in some of the products. But because of this COVID era, there is again an advancement in the expectations of consumers. So what they are thinking that if they get more and more claim in a single product, that would be the best suited product for them. So while hand sanitizers, soaps, disinfectants will continue to be crucial with the customers focusing more on the internal as well as external immunity, here are some of the key claims that will be shaping up the beauty industry. So these are the current trending claims as well as the upcoming claims that people are opting for. Here comes first the blue light protection. Now, as we all know, because of the lockdown, there's an increase in the adoption of digital technology, and there's more exposure, increased exposure to the blue lights, the digital screens from consumers. So studies, some scientists have come up with the studies that there's again the skin damage because of the continuous exposure to blue light. So, and blue light is not only from screen but also from sun. There's a small a part wherein you are actually exposed to the blue rays as well. So, blue light protection is a concept which you will generally observe in case of sunscreens. And nowadays, people are also using this concept in case of moisturizers, wherein you apply the formulation and you get the protection from blue light. NIR protection is another area wherein people are focusing upon. For example, earlier in sunscreens, people used to focus on UVA rays, UVB rays, the shielding. But now they are also talking about the near infrared protection, because studies have come up that because of the exposure to near infrared also, there's acceleration in the aging process. So people are opting for NIR protection ingredients and using them in various kinds of formulations. Anti-pollution is another very important segment where people have their focus, and they are developing a number of products wherein they can claim the anti-pollution effect. Now, whether it is a moisturizer or a sunscreen or a face wash or any kind of product, because there's an increase in population, not population, I'm sorry, pollution. So people want to get shielded against this pollution before they go out. So these kinds of formulations will be into picture. Paraben free is already into the market as a claim, and again it will continue to expand because studies have come up that parabens actually mimic the activities like that of carcinogens and may result into breast cancer. So those are not safe to use, and parabens are generally being used as preservatives into a number of formulations, whether it is a cosmetic formulation, a typical pharmaceutical formulation, or a dermacosmeceutical formulation. You will hear methyl paraben, propyl paraben generally being used as preservative. So instead of using those parabens, what people are opting are preservatives that are not from the paraben category, maybe phenoxyethanol, or maybe some kind of preservative, or maybe the specialty active itself. Well aging. Now, well aging is a very interesting concept. This is not completely similar to anti aging. This is a slight different area. See, anti aging is something where you are working on the reversal of the symptoms and the signs of aging. Well aging is something wherein the product will help you to age gracefully. So here you are not actually reversing the aging process, but you are actually making the aging process to be slowed down. That is something well aging, and these kinds of products are generally being used by the new generation, the people from 20s, 30s, 40s, because they want to delay the aging process. So you have moisturizers or maybe fairness creams or a number of formulations which is being used by this population for well aging as a therapy. Coming on to multi-purpose, we already have seen a lot of literature on this multi-purpose. The advantages we have already seen. So this basically reduces the cost of the formulation. This is pocket friendly for the manufacturers as well as the buyer, and people are opting for more and more multi-purpose ingredients into their formulation. Natural and biodegradable. Now, natural and biodegradable, as I already mentioned, that because people have concerns for themselves and the environment, they are opting for natural and biodegradable ingredients into their formulation and natural formulation as a whole, basically. So this is again already trending and it will continue to expand in the coming time as well. People are going back to the Ayurveda system because they know that those things were very much effective and there are less chances of side effects in those kinds of ingredients. So this is something which will continue to expand. Touchless beauty. Now, touchless beauty is something which was already there in the market, but not under the name of touchless beauty. It has gained popularity after the COVID scenario. Because of the COVID scenario, people were well aware that they don't have to touch their face or any kind of surface for that matter. So this touchless beauty has come into picture wherein people are formulating the products into various formats. For example, sprays, sticks, those kinds of formats where you actually do not have to use your hands directly. You can just spray the formulation on your face, on your hairs, and you don't actually have to use your hand. So that is reducing the contact of your skin or hair with the formulation or any kind of surface. So that is something which comes under touchless beauty, and people are already working on this kind of area and it will continue to expand as well. The last concept over here is the skin microbiome balance. Now, because everyone is well aware about the body, the physiology of the body, so we all know that there's a specific skin flora. It consists of good bacteria, bad bacteria, opportunistic bacteria. So people have identified this as a sector and they are providing formulations that actually maintain the balance of the skin microbiome. And this kind of concept is generally being used into moisturizers for most of the times, because moisturizer is something which most of us use all the time, maybe at least a single time a day, whether it is a male or female, we do use the moisturizer. So skin microbiome balance is something which is needed by everyone and people are using this in those kinds of formulations. Now, what next? Now, having an understanding of various target areas, the upcoming trends, claims, and a sort of futuristic scenario, a pharma professional can actually choose upon the path where he or she finds the self strength and inclination. Now, we have seen throughout the presentation what could be the areas and what could be the areas where you can actually have your strengths and inclination. So, now if you analyze your strengths and inclination and also taking all these areas and opportunities into consideration, we have these kinds of fields available for a pharma graduate in a dermacosmeceutical sector. For example, the first sector is the F&D. F&D is formulation and development. So if you are interested in the development of a finished product, then you can opt for the F&D as a category, wherein you will formulate various formulations with various therapeutic effects, and your main job would be to formulate a finished product, and that should be innovative. So if you have any kind of innovative ideas in your mind, you can surely opt for F&D. R&D is another sector wherein you actually work on the API or ingredient synthesis. Now, there's a very slight difference between F&D and R&D. F&D is related to finished product. R&D is more of a API or ingredient related sector, basically. So you can also go for R&D. Biotechnology research services, this is something wherein uh, you have the ingredient or API, and for that you are performing various tests like pharmacodynamics, pharmacokinetics of that API or ingredient. So that is the biotechnology research services. Business development. Now this is a very interesting area where even I am a part of business development industry. So business development is something where you actually promote your products, and that products could be the finished product or the API or the specialty ingredient, any kind of product where you actually develop the business of your organization. You meet the decision makers of the companies, various companies, the manufacturers, and you actually tell them about your product, the advantages of your product, the edge over the already existing product. And that's how you actually grow your business, by selling those products to the manufacturers. Now please make it very clear that business development is completely different from the MR job. It is not at all door to door selling, it is not at all visiting to doctors time to time. You actually have pre-scheduled meetings over here, you meet the decision makers, and this is a very sophisticated job. So if you like traveling, it involves a lot of traveling depending upon your area of the market. So if you like traveling, if you have good command on the communication skills, if you think that you are really good at convincing people, you can surely opt for business development as the category. Regulatory is something that involves the documentation and all the validation part basically. So if you are interested into documentation, and as I mentioned during the presentation, that providing the seals and certifications for any kind of product safety or something like that. So if you have interest in the documentation part, you can always opt for regulatory. Many colleges actually offer the regulatory affairs and the courses for those kind of areas. So regulatory is again one of the good option. And cosmetic testing services, now this is something which actually relates to the after testing of the finished formulation. So if you have interest in the finished formulation but don't want to actually formulate the formulation, but so you can actually go into the testing services. For example, in case of sunscreen is for so and so SPF, 50 SPF, or PA3 is the rating. So being a cosmetic testing service person, what you will do is you will actually test whether the formulation is giving the SPF of 50 or PA of 3 plus. So that kind of testing services you can also opt for. So majorly these are the areas where you can actually opt. And if you are interested in the dermacosmeceutical sector, you have these six major criterias where you can think of. You can get in touch for more details. You can also surf the net, there's a lot of information available or internet. So if you are not interested in dermacosmeceutical by any chance, you already have the pharma tree which I have shown in the previous slides. You can opt for any kind of uh, area from those opportunities as well. So I would request you all to give it a thought today for a better tomorrow. And this brings us to the end of our session one. I would say thank you for being so patient and listening to me. And I would like to end my presentation with a note that a rising tide lifts all the boats. So basically, do not take this COVID era and the pandemic era in a negative sense. This will actually rise all the boats, including the pharma graduates. If you opt for a correct sector, if you are interested, if you are inclined towards a sector, so it will rise all the boats. And be patient, be thoughtful for what you are choosing as your career. And most important thing is you should enjoy your job, and that is possible when you have full knowledge about what you are opting and what would be the opportunities. So you can always do a SWOT analysis for yourself. So basically the strengths, opportunities, threats. So you can always analyze yourself and opt for the correct criteria for you, correct career option for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much,
This
Pooja ma'am, for this
session is
very
open for the question answer. Yeah, sorry, I'm sorry.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much, Pooja ma'am, for this very insightful talk on rise of dermaceutical market as an upcoming trend and the opportunities for pharma graduates. To sum up the session, ma'am started with a very insightful note on the opportunities for pharma graduates that are present in the pharma field. Then she focused on the various aspects of commercialization and market potential of dermatological products. She also discussed about details of market segmentation and core competencies of dermaceuticals, cosmeceuticals. This is for all of us to be abreast about the field as researchers. It gives us an open avenues to venture into it. She then focused on the various personal care products, products for trichology and Dermacare, followed by giving a very brief knowledge about the various novel approaches like aminoscience, home skincare, which is the need of the day. Because as we all know, in COVID times, due to lockdown, there is movement restriction, and we need these upcoming approaches, which we all have to adopt if we have to go along and grow. She then focused on the various upcoming trends and claims such as paraben free products, graceful aging. She also talked about anti pollution products, biodegradable products, followed by the microbial balance of the skin, which we all learn when we are starting with our study on cosmetics. So, a very nice and an insightful session, ma'am, for all the students and the faculty audience with us. I have a few questions from the audience. So, ma'am, you've stressed upon the global aspects of dermacosmeceutical market. So, in this connection, there is a question by the audience. What are the comparative global prospects of dermaceuticals as compared to the local prospects for our students from both graduate as well as postgraduate field? And then, is there any special preparations in your knowledge that should be done by UGs and PGs for joining the dermacosmeceutical market?
Okay. So it's a very good question, which will actually give more insights on what I actually said in my presentation. See, when you go to compare the global market and the local market, there's always a slight difference in the market orientation and the segmentation because of the climatic conditions and also the approach of people towards any kind of therapy. For example, the demand which is there in the Indian market may not be the demand in the global market sometimes. So, for
Yes.
example, I will give a very simple example: tanning products. Now, tanning products are very much flourishing in the markets abroad, the not in the Indian
Yes.
market, because there people love to look into the tanned skin. But that is not the case in India. In India, no one would actually like to look tanned. Everyone
Yes.
wants
True.
to be very fair and very
Yeah.
fresh. That kind of look is being preferred in India. So there's always some kind of restriction when it comes to the market when you go to compare local and global market. But the major areas, for example, acne, or maybe the hair growth or sunscreens, these are the areas that are very common, and these areas you will actually see, whether it is local market, global market, doesn't matter. Everyone is actually looking for innovations in this kind of areas, so which we have already identified as, I mean, we as a company have actually done a lot of literature survey, and we uh, came down to a list of top 10 dermacare issues and the trachology issues that are there in the global market as well as the local market, which the students can work upon. So that was the answer to the first question for the the difference in the market segmentation for global and local market. So to sum up, we actually have some issues that are common in both kinds of markets, and that can be opted anytime to work upon. For the second question, the preparation to enter the dermacosmeceutical market, very frankly, you don't need to have a separate preparation for entering the dermacosmeceutical market. What you just need to have is interest in the cosmetic field, the dermacosmeceutical field. And if you have the innovative ideas in your mind for the formulations or maybe the concepts, you are good to go to enter the dermacosmeceutical market. I will give you my example. I have done my master's in pharmaceutical chemistry. Now, it is very surprising for everyone when they come to know that I have done master's in pharmaceutical chemistry and then I entered into the dermacosmeceutical business. So, because I was actually inclined towards this kind of market when I came to know about this, and I had a self analysis and I asked myself a question whether I want to opt for the dermacosmeceutical market or something which is into core chemistry as a field. So I had this thought and then I opted for dermacosmeceutical. So you can enter the dermacosmeceutical anytime if you have diploma in pharma, if you have graduated, if you have the B Pharm degree, if you have M Pharm degree, even if you are a PhD person, you can enter the dermacosmeceutical market anytime. The route to enter the dermacosmeceutical market is you can join any of the pharma company who has the dermatology segment as their product line, and most of the derma companies do have this as a separate segment, because earlier people used to work on oncology or cardiology, those kinds of segments, but now dermatology is again a very important segment in all kinds of pharma industries. So you can just opt for this dermatology segment in any kind of pharmaceutical industry, or maybe the ingredient manufacturers or the suppliers as well. This is the easiest way to enter into the dermacosmeceutical market. So I hope I answered the question.
Yes, I think you have answered both the questions very aptly. The first one means you've given a good insight on what are the global, with the tanning preparation that you've spoken upon. I think people can very well relate to the needs that are very different for globe versus India. And so, wherever you want to, you can prepare accordingly. And I'm sure the second question that you've given your own example that you've been an MPharm in chemistry, and many students actually keep asking us as to how do we enter, like, because many of them are interested in cosmetics. uh, One thing is that they are using it every day,
Yeah.
so that drives them towards moving into this segment, and I'm sure they are going to benefit from this uh, Q&A session. In continuation to this, there is another question that is also going to be of great motivation to the students. There's The question reads as how the or how do you see as the growth trajectory of students in the cosmetic industry, which is very different from the pharmaceutical industry. So maybe the growth ladder which they would, or the path that they would tread in pharmaceutical industry versus in the cosmetics.
Yeah. So again, see, if you are spending your 4 years of your life in pharma background and then you are opting for a dermacosmeceutical industry, which is actually the amalgamation of pharma and cosmeceuticals. So if you go to a literal comparison for a pharma graduate in a pharmaceutical industry and in a dermacosmeceutical industry, in a pharmaceutical industry there will be a growth, like if you go for product manager or those kinds of areas in the manufacturing of a typical pharmaceutical, you will have a very focused area to work upon. And because the ingredients are very specific, the APIs are already in focus and already well known to everyone, the pharma companies actually have the set profile and the set protocol for making any kind of formulation if it is a API based product. So you cannot really innovate in case of typical pharmaceutical product. So if you are actually interested into innovations and the products that are also giving the wellness, the advantage of a medicinal like product formulation, and also the sensorials. So if you go to literal comparison of growth, the growth in the dermacosmeceutical industry is much more when compared to the typical the pharmaceutical industry. So maybe initially a person can find it a little difficult to understand the dermacosmeceutical market, but now again it is very easy. If you have the inclination, you automatically
Yes,
get away with the flow. So
yes,
in my personal opinion, the growth ladder is much more when it comes to the derma cosmeceutical industry, because you have a lot of opportunities for innovations. You can play with different kinds of claims, the sensorials, which is actually the need of an hour and will continue in the global and local market in the long term.
Yeah, I think this has also
So
answered the
that
question.
was
Like you really,
my answer.
yes, I think that does answer the question. You really need to realize the potential, and once I think you understand that, like you said, there is an immense chance of growth as happening in the cosmeceutical. So, yeah, the next question. Actually, there are a number of questions with me, but I also see the clock striking 11:25. So, what I would do is I would limit myself to the last question for you, and I would request others to directly get in touch with you offline, and maybe they can get in touch with you one to one and get their doubts
Sure,
cleared. So the
sure.
last one is actually from the point of view of research and manufacturing of these products. And the question says, what considerations are commercially taken while designing concepts for cosmetics or cosmeceutical products? So if you can throw some light on the commercial aspects that we need to take into consideration, like you've spoken about market share of some products and all. So
Yeah.
while doing research or while giving projects to students specifically on cosmeceuticals, some aspects about commercialization that we should be aware of, if you can throw some light on that.
Yes. So again, it is a very good question and very important one, because in especially in Indian market, everything comes to the cost restraint. So if you have the if you go to look at the main aspects of commercialization, you have to have an understanding of the area where you are developing the formulation. For example, if you are opting for a anti-acne formulation, there's already a set market of anti-acne formulations in India as well as globally, where you have some kind of cost brackets ranging from the lowest cost product to the highest cost product, but that highest cost product is also not into the premium range for the anti-acne segment. But when it comes to anti-aging as a segment, you will see not a single cream in the market, whether it is dermacosmeceutical or a typical cosmetic product, not a single cream or formulation is below 1,000 rupees. So that anti-aging segment itself says that it is something like that of a mid premium kind of segment. So having the understanding of this segmentation where you are working upon, you can actually try and formulate your product, and you can take your research product in a way that you have the cost constraints in the mind when it comes to the commercialization. Because whenever you think of a commercialization, the general way that is opted for this is the colleges approach the pharma companies for the launch, saying
Right.
that it is a novel product. So if you are
Yes.
saying that it is a novel product, and even if you are approaching a pharma company or a marketing company for a launch, they will surely have certain criterias for the cost, because again they'll also have to have their profits as well from the market. So there's
Yes.
always a cost constraint when it comes to the research projects. And also, as I have also done masters, so I know that even in the process of the research project there are cost constraints while
Yes. Yes.
formulating the product. So it is again very important to have an understanding on what kind of segment you are working upon and what is your target product, the market. See, if you already have it clear in your mind that you will take this product into the global market, then you again have chances of using n number of things over there with less cost constraint. So that is very
Yes.
important over here.
Yes, I think this has also given some idea to all the researchers as to how they can plan their projects now in this field. So with this, I think I'll conclude the session. Thank you very much again, Pooja ma'am, for this very, very nice and insightful talk. And I can see the in the comments, a great session, wonderful session. So I'm sure the audience has benefited out of this. Uh, I'll now request the audience to have a break of 2 minutes, and we have a second session after this. So during the break, we would be playing a short video which will give you insights about the company and the product. So just have a look at it, and we will be back after 2 minutes for our second session. So thank you all. Thank you, Pooja ma'am, once again.
Thank you. Thank you. See you in some time.
After this succinct video on Western Commercial Corporation and the different products of Western Commercial Corporation and the insights, I now again welcome all the delegates and our speaker, Ms. Pooja Dubey, for throwing light and for starting with the talk two, that is the dermal issues throughout the world and the solutions by Western Commercial Corporation. Welcome, Pooja ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you again. So let me know once the presentation is visible. I think it is
Yes, it is
visible.
visible. Yeah.
Okay. So I would request all the attendees to take a pen and paper in the hand, because there will be lot of ingredients and lot of areas which we will be looking upon, and you can just jot down the important points that you find interesting, and if you want any kind of details or maybe any more insights on those areas, you can surely connect to me later on after this session. So I would request all of you to be very attentive and jot down the important points, because we will be looking at a lot many more opportunities where you can think of. So let me start with the session again. Welcome you all to this session 2, wherein we will be discussing about the top dermacare issues around the world and the unique solutions by WCC. So this is specifically where the research people can have an eye upon. So these are the contents of my presentation, wherein we will be looking upon the what's trending in the market in very short, because we have already discussed a lot in my last session. After that, we will be talking about the top dermacare issues and the solutions from WCC, the current attractions for derma, and complete summary and the clients. So about WCC, as you have recently seen in the video, we represent the Japanese makers from the worldwide, and the renowned makers. They are into the specialty ingredients, and these ingredients are actually used in the personal care industry. So as I already mentioned, specialty ingredients are the ingredients which are most of the time the cosmetic actives that are being used in combination with API sometimes, or maybe as an ingredient alone for a specific therapy. So these are the functional actives. Functional is the important word over here. These are the functional actives. So just for the documentation purpose, the pharma companies use them as excipients, but they are functional. We actually offer the ingredients for skincare, hair care, color cosmetics, oral care, and so on. And all the products that we offer are mild and harmless, and we make sure that there is no adverse effect on mankind with these products. Facilities and services, as I have been mentioning, we provide innovative solutions. We have a personal care laboratory in Mumbai where we actually formulate various formulations to showcase it to various companies. Our clients are cosmetic companies as well as the top pharma companies and pharma companies all over India. So we actually promote our prototypes in front of them, which we formulate in our lab in Mumbai. We have the warehouse in Mumbai and Kolkata, and we are always available for the customer support and all the technical support that is being needed for the academic purpose as well. Coming on to the main issue of our presentation. We are starting from here. So, what's trending in the market? We already saw what are the current claims, what are the upcoming opportunities. So, basically, the demand for multifunctional ingredients is continuously increasing because of their multiple benefits, claims, improved functionality, and cost effectiveness. Also, the beauty claims like clean beauty, vegan, organic, biodegradable, paraben free. So, all the beauty claims which we have seen, these are again into the trend, and combining most of these claims with the effective cleansing, which is mild and safe, to skin, scalp, hair, all three of them actually allows the increase in the chances of success. So this is in a nutshell what is the trending scenario in the market. Now coming on to the most important part of this session, the top 10 dermacare issues. Here you can see I have listed top dermacare issues from the world. So these are actually placed in the descending order. That means most of the work is being done for the criteria which is placed towards the upper side of the slide. For example, acne, contact dermatitis, eczema, alopecia. These four segments are the segments where most of the work is being done on the global level as well as in India as well. So I would request you all to please have a look at this slide. So here are the top 10 derma care issues. First comes the acne, then the contact dermatitis, eczema, psoriasis, dry skin, alopecia, seborrheic dermatitis. Now, alopecia and seborrheic dermatitis are related to hairs, the trichology segment. But again, because the work is being done on these segments, these are amongst the top 10 issues. Fungal infections, staph infections, sunburn, pigmentation disorders, dark under eye circles, and wrinkles. Now, if you have any kind of idea for this kind of therapy segments, you can surely expect success in your business or in your project, depending upon what kind of formulation you are using, you are making, and what kind of claims you will be able to provide with your formulation. So we'll go into each of these segments one by one, starting with the anti-acne. So in the throughout presentation, I'll be talking about solutions that we can provide from WCC by providing the actives for that specific therapy area. For example, for anti-acne, our solutions for acne includes solutions for various issues like excessive sebum secretion, excessive oiliness, by providing moisturization, antibacterial effect, oil control, skin protection effect, and also various claims that you can have in your formulation. For that, first of all, let's have a look at the skin structure. See, for before starting any kind of research project, you should always understand the possible mechanisms and the chemistries of the target area. For example, anti-acne, the acne is the skin disease, not disease specifically, but the skin condition. So first of all, let us have a look at the skin structure. There's always a difference in the skin structure when it comes to oily skin and dry skin. Oily skin is characterized by large pores, whereas,
Ms. Pooja,
yeah, sorry,
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but your slides are not moving. Could you please check at
uh,
your end?
I'm sorry. I'll just check. Now, are they moving?
Yes.
Okay, I'm so sorry for that disruption.
No,
So
it's okay.
yeah. So as I was mentioning about these 10 issues, and then we were on to the anti-acne part, and now we are on to the difference in the skin structure. Now, as you can see in the figure, the oily skin is characterized by large pores, whereas the dry skin has the fine pores. This is the main difference, and because of these large pores, there's always a shiny feel on the oily skin, which is the problem with the oily skin people. It is always shiny, and then it is not very desirable all the time. So the main difference is in the skin structure. Now, when you have the understanding of the problem itself, you can have the solutions to those problems. So there are many problems related to the oily skin. For example, the and foremost issue is the acne. Now, acne can again be a face acne or body acne. So overproduction of oil on the surface of skin causes the dead skin cells to clump and form the acne. Now, this is basically one line mechanism of the formation of acne. So acne is the main problem due to oily skin. There's also the problem of clogged pores because of the extra oil and dead skin cells. They clog the skin pores. Skin becomes prone to the bacterial infections. So clogged pores are the roots for bacterial survival. So that's how the problem is there. And accumulation of dirt and particles because of the oily skin and pollution, they actually stick to the skin surface, and you have the accumulation of dirt and other particles. Now, these are the problems that because of the oily skin, and as we have seen, acne is the major concern. So acne is the major concern specifically for teenage people, and now actually it affects the people of all the ages. And again, acne is subdivided into various types. You have the papillas, you have the pustules, you have blackheads, whiteheads. Again, a number of categorization is over there in case of acne as well. So depending on the severity and the it can cause the emotional distress as well. People with acne, they have some kind of restraints over themselves, that they do not like to go into the public places because they have the fear that people will laugh, or maybe they have the inferior complex sometimes if the acne is too much there on their body or on their face. So sometimes it also results in emotional distress, and this, you can always lower the risk of these problems if you treat them to the earliest. Coming on to the typical solutions to these problems, you have the antimicrobial activity against the bacteria that is responsible for acne. You can have the control of sebum production, because again that was the root cause for acne. So if you control that root cause, you will have some kind of solution for your acne as well. Effective cleansing is again important, because as we have seen that oily skin and the acne is also responsible for clogging of pores. So effective cleansing is very important, which will remove the dirt, oil and dead skins, and you can actually feel very fresh. And effective moisturization to keep the skin hydrated. See, hydration is very important when it comes to any kind of problem, whether it is related to skin or hair or scalp. So dehydrated skin actually lack the moisture, and this sends the signal to the sebaceous glands, which produce more oil, and this eventually builds up the dead skin and results into the more clogged pores. So if you are providing enough of hydration to your skin cells, automatically the sebaceous gland will not produce more oil as it is required. So these are the typical solutions to these problems. And now coming on to the solutions from WCC, we have anti-acne effect with multifunctional ingredients. So these are four ingredients. And then we have the solution for effective cleansing as well. We will go into the detail one by one. So the first ingredient and the most popular ingredient in case of anti-acne is Agiru Zedan 100. Now this is the trade name. The INCI name is zinc PCA. Like we have the IUPAC name in case of chemical molecules in pharma, we have INCI names in case of cosmetic ingredients, specialty ingredients. So it is international nomenclature of cosmetic ingredients. So INCI name is zinc PCA. Generally, companies mention the INCI name of any kind of ingredient onto their label into the product. So again, this is very important. If you want to use this kind of ingredient into your product, you will have to mention the INCI name of your ingredient that you're using. So zinc, as we all know that it is a broad spectrum antimicrobial, and it is a key mineral for healthy body. So zinc actually inhibits the key enzyme 5-alpha reductase, which actually contribute to the control of sebaceous gland activity. So this is zinc. And PCA. PCA is pyrrolidine carboxylic acid, which is actually the component of skin's natural moisturizing factor. So, you will have various formulations formulated with zinc derivatives, which actually use zinc for all these activities, but they leave dryness, because zinc is a compound that will result in dryness. So, what we have done is we have combined this PCA molecule to zinc. So, basically, zinc takes care of the anti-acne activity, the sebum control activity, and the side effect of zinc, that is the excessive dryness, is being taken care of by the PCA molecule. So PCA provides the moisturization hand in hand. So you can see towards the right side of this slide, you will see the possible claims. For example, the zinc PCA available with us is halal certified, it is preservative free. The EWG rating is 1 to 3, and we also have the Cosmos approved ingredient available. So you will see some of these possible claims in almost all the ingredients. So let me explain what the EWG rating is. EWG rating is something which determines the safety of your ingredient. So if it is less, that is 1 or 2, your ingredient is very safe to use. And it again depends on the dosage as well. So that is something which denotes the EWG rating. And nowadays, it is very important to mention the EWG rating of whatever you are using. Coming on to the benefits of zinc PCA for skin, you have anti-acne activity, broad spectrum antimicrobial activity, sebum control, moisturization, antiperspirant, inhibition of wrinkles, and induced UV stimuli. So, for example, you can see Propionibacterium acne, the bacteria which is responsible for acne, is being taken care of by zinc PCA when used in the formulation. And you also have the data for hair and scalp issues as well, which I'll come it to later on. So for the benefits, you can see a study was being carried out in comparison with water, because we all know that whenever we have acne, we are advised to wash our face again and again with water. The main reason is that you need to remove the dirt and the particles from the clogged pores, which will eventually reduce the size of acne, and also the excessive sebum that is being accumulated on your face. So what we have done is there is a comparative study with zinc PCA and water, and as you can see that after 4 weeks and also after 3 hours, there was the effective increase in the arrest of sebum secretion. The sebum secretion was arrested when the zinc PCA was used in the formulation. Coming on to this slide here, the comparison is with the zinc gluconate, because generally the zinc compounds are being used into anti-acne formulations. So here is the comparison with zinc gluconate. You can see the sebum ratio. The purple color actually denotes the zinc PCA. So again, the sebum is being arrested. The test was carried out when the half face was washed twice a day, and it was a 4 week study, and the results are very evident, which shows the reduction in the sebum content. Coming on to the antiperspirant activity, now again there's a very typical smell when it comes to acne, and this is more applicable when it comes to body acne. See, face acne is not too much of there doesn't have so much of odor, but when you have acne all over the body, there's a very typical odor, the sebaceous odor that is being coming off because of the excessive sebum production. So here also you have the zinc PCA, where it acts upon the excellent sebum reduction because it is natural, and it also provides the PCA molecule, the moisturization. So it gives a very good optimum moisturization to your face and body, and there's also good compatibility with the cosmetics, which is the problem with most of the other zinc molecules because of the solubility problem. So this also doesn't have any kind of solubility problem. Also, it absorbs the bad odor because it acts against the auxiliary odorous bacteria. Here you can see the MIC data, and here you can see the MIC value as well. So we have all the possible data that is being required to show the activity of a product against a specific bacteria. So here I have just incorporated the representative slides for each of the category, but we have detailed presentations for every efficacy that we are showcasing, and that can be sent to you upon request. Here are some of the commercial references. As you can see, oil control triple face mask sheet pack. We have body wash, skin cleansing, oil control face wash, aftershave wipes. So here is the summary. You have the anti-acne effect and all the other issues that are related and that will actually increase the chances of acne. Zinc PCA acts upon those areas as well and will give you the anti-acne effect overall along with the optimum moisturization. Anti-dandruff is something which we will discuss in the later part in our session. Applications, as you can see, anti-acne range, any kind of cream, lotion, face wash, body wash, and the list goes on. You can opt your zinc PCA in a number of formulations. Possible claims, as we have already seen in the slide, and the dosage is from 0.2 to 1%. We generally recommend a little bit of higher dosage in case of pharma industries because they want to see the results very quick. So if you want quick results, there's always a linearity with the dosage. So you can increase the dosage as well. So this was our first ingredient, which is multifunctional. The entire flow of the presentation will go on the similar way. We will talk about the ingredient, the activity, the main mechanism and so, and the commercial references and summary. This brings me to the second ingredient, amitose R or amitose RPD. So those are two different grades of the same molecule. So Amitose R is actually a derivative of arginine. Arginine, as we all know, is an amino acid. So it is, the arginine is combined with glycerin, and molecularly, if you go to look at it, how does it act? Glycerin, as we all know, is being used as the humectant in most of the formulations for its moisturizing ability. So, because of the glycerin, there's a hydrogen bonding by the hydroxyl groups from the glycerin. And arginine. Arginine actually, because of the guanidino group in the molecule, there's the ionic bond. So amitose R is actually the combination of glycerin and arginine. So with amitose R, you have the advantage of hydrogen bond as well as ionic bond. Now, why this is important? See, hydrogen bond is important for moisturization, and ionic bond is important for long-term moisturization. So basically, with amitose R, you have the long-lasting moisturizing effect because of the chemistry of this molecule. Coming on to the benefits for skin, again, you have anti-acne. We have studies on microbiome, skin microbiome, moisturization, anti-pollution, anti-wrinkle, and the effective usage in various kinds of areas. We also have data for hair and scalp care issues, which we'll see in the respective section. Coming on to the anti-acne mechanism of amitose R, see, the main difference is, in case of other moisturizers, those get utilized by P acnes. But in case of amitose R, because of the derivatization of amitose R, the bacteria, the P. acnes, are not able to utilize this amitose R for their propagation, and hence there is a decrease in the population of P. acne, and hence there is the anti-acne effect. So this is the edge over the conventional moisturizer when you use amitose R in your moisturizer. Coming on to the skin microbiome. Skin microbiome, as I already mentioned in my previous session, skin microbiome refers to the skin flora. Now, again, those are good bacteria which are actually predominant in the skin. When it comes to healthy skin, the good bacteria are predominant and very diverse bacteria they are. But when it comes to the unhealthy skin, the bad bacteria are predominant and there is an unbalanced bacterial composition. So this is the main difference when it comes to skin microbiome. And having the understanding, we actually analyzed amitose R for its skin microbiome effect. So, as we already discussed in the mechanism, it is not utilized by P. acne, and we have the culture plate test as well. As you can see, in comparison with glycerin, there were lesser growth in P. acne when it was compared to glycerin and control. So, it's a 24 and 48-hour study. So opportunistic bacteria cannot utilize amitose R. Here you can see the comparison in with the conventional humectants. Like you all know, hyaluronic acid, sodium PCA, glycerin, sorbitol, butylene glycol. These are generally being used into all kinds of formulations, whether they are pharmaceutical or cosmeceutical. So as you can see, it is not utilized by opportunist bacteria. When it comes to good bacteria actually utilize the amitose R, and they actually multiply themselves, which improves the screen beauty. Again, the comparison is with the conventional humectants, and as you can see, there's rise in the number of organisms. The S. epidermis, which is considered to be the good bacteria, as you can see, there's the increase in the population in the culture plate test. When it comes to bad bacteria, again, bad bacteria cannot utilize amitose R. For example, S. aureus, which is again the another bacteria that aids into the acne. So again, there is no utilization of amitose R by these kinds of bacteria, as you can see in the culture plate study as well. And now we have the anti-pollution effect for amitose R. So the test was being carried out by applying it to the hand surface, and then the hand was exposed to the pollens and the activated charcoal particles for the adsorption. So it was seen that where the amitose R was applied, there was no adsorption or maybe lesser adsorption as compared to the control and comparison sample. So this is the anti-pollution effect of amitose R. Here are some of the commercial references. As you can see, facial cleansing, facial wash, skin lotion, adsorb 2 moisturizer sheet and lotion. So I have just incorporated a few of the commercial references over here. but we have a huge list for every ingredient that we offer. So here is the summary which we have already seen in various slides. So I have just compiled all that data into one slide for your kind reference. And application, as you all know, you can use it in any kind of leave on or wash off formulation. The possible claims, again, biodegradable it is, and it is very important that you can use it. EWG rating is 1, so it is very safe to use. Dosage is minimum 1%, so it is again a multifunctional ingredient that you can use. Coming on to the third ingredient, which is amitose MGA. Now, this is vitamin C derivative. So, we actually offer 6 types of vitamin C derivatives. All of them are stabilized derivatives. All of them are patented by our Japanese principal. So, this is one of them. It is the advanced vitamin C derivative. So when I say advanced, it actually performs the conventional activities of vitamin C plus some other activity which is not there in the conventional vitamin C. So in this case, it actually exhibits the antibacterial activity against S. aureus and P. acne. So again, it goes for anti-acne therapy. It also reduces the spots and wrinkles. It gives better emulsification when you formulate in the product, because emulsification is again a great challenge when it comes to vitamin C for a formulator. So it helps in better emulsification and also inhibits the melanin synthesis, so gives the skin lightening effect as well. As you can see, we again have the data for culture plate test, and there's the antibacterial effect, and there's also the reduction in the acne score when a formulation with amitose MGA was applied. These are the commercial references. You can see facial care essence, facial cream at with vitamin C, and then the facial care milk. And here is the summary. So the most important thing over here and the advantage for the formulator is amitose MGA is a patented molecule, so you can have an edge over the conventional formulation. When you use amitose MGA in your formulation, you have the claim of the patented ingredient, and it is also preservative free. So the minimum dosage is 1%, and it is again multifunctional. Coming on to the active, the last active of anti-acne. So it is phytic acid. Phytic acid is very well-known ingredient in pharmaceutical industry as well. So phytic acid we offer, and which is a eco-certified grade phytic acid. It is again preservative-free, very safe to use. It has the results of sebum control, moisture balance, good elasticity to the skin, good skin lightening effect, anti-aging effect. It is also being used as natural chelating agent in various skin and hair formulations, and it also gives the anti-wrinkle effect. Now again, anti-wrinkle effect is again related to sebum control itself. So here you can see the study. This is the study which is being carried out by 0.5% of phytic acid. So there were two groups, oily skin group and dry skin group. So phytic acid actually act differently in both the groups. In case of oily skin group, the phytic acid reduced the sebum content, whereas in case of dry skin group, phytic acid actually increased the sebum content. So phytic acid is a magical ingredient which actually adjusts itself and the activity according to the skin type to maintain the optimum sebum level. Now, this is a very recent study which we have received from our Japanese principals. Phytic acid is being used into peels and the post acne pigmentation treatment, either along with the the generally used chemical peels, for example, glycolic acid, salicylic, and mandelic acid. These are the acids that are being generally used in case of chemical peels in India also, and also in case of typical pharma formulations. So a study was being carried out, and the it is a 12-week study, and the images towards the right hand side will show you the results. So all these three peels were effective in the anti-acne effect, but the edge over the combination of phytic acid was there was no inflammation when it was applied with the phytic acid, whereas in case of glycolic and mandelic acid, there was some kind of inflammation after the therapy. So again, it is very much useful when you combine the ingredients with the APIs or so. These are the commercial references. As you can see, the worldwide commercial references, the facial treatment, deep cleansing. It is also safe for baby skin. So you can see a baby skin cream as well. The peeling clay mask. Kiehl's is a very famous company. As you can see, there's a face wash from them. So they are also using phytic acid, facial cleanser, and emulsion remover. This is the overall summary of phytic acid. So all the points are being jotted down over here at one place for your kind reference. And the minimum dosage is 0.5% in case of phytic acid. Coming on to the another area, the effective cleansing. Now, effective cleansing is a very important part when it comes to a personal care product. It can go for anti-acne, or even if not for anti-acne, but in general also effective cleansing is very important. So here we have our mild surfactants. The first surfactant is potassium cocoyl glycinate potassium cocoyl. So this is from the natural source. It is amino acid based, so based on glycine amino acid and the coconut fatty acids. So the advantage over here is it gives very creamy and resilient foam. It has very high foaming power and leaves the skin moisturized without toutiness. Now you can see towards the right hand side, this is just 1 ml of this surfactant, which gives a very big bubble and a creamy foam. The advantage with this surfactant is, apart from being very mild and effective cleansing agent at the same time, it prevents the nozzle clogs in the self-forming body wash or any kind of wash of formulation. Now you will observe that a lot of hand washes, body washes, whether they are transparent or opaque, doesn't matter. They most of the times clog the nozzles of the packaging bottle. So that is not the case in when you use amylite. So it prevents the nozzle clogging. Now, if someone says that they don't want to use this as a primary surfactant, they can also use it as the secondary surfactant or as an additive. For example, you have SLS or CAPB already into your formulation and do not want to replace it completely. What you can do is reduce their quantity to a little and add a very small quantity of our surfactant, and you will have increase in the foam height, foam volume, and foam quality. So here is the data. For example, 30% CAPB was reduced to 27% with the addition of 3% of the amylite GCK12H, and there was improvement in the foam itself. You can see the number of commercial references. These are again a very few commercial references which I have incorporated over here. You can see very famous companies. You might have seen these products, and see they are already using this kind of surfactant from us. Here is the efficacy data. You have a lot more possible claims with this kind of surfactants. They are vegan, they are biodegradable, preservative free, sulfate free, EWG rating. Again, they are very safe and hypoallergenic for the skin. You can use them as primary surfactant, secondary surfactant, or also as an additive. In for that matter, even the vegetable cleansers and fruit cleansers, they are also using the surfactants. Sometimes they generally they use the other surfactant because that is more into the conditioning effect. So effective removal of dirt, and also the foaming here is a little lesser as compared to amylite because this is more into conditioning, but there is a foaming. So again, they use small quantities of this surfactant. So this is another surfactant which is disodium cocoyl glutamate. As you can see, as compared to SLES and soap, Emisoft actually maintains the NMF of the skin. Like even after repetitive wash off, you will not experience that stretchy feel and the dry skin effect. When compared to the conventional surfactants, you will see Emisoft is a very mild surfactant. So you can use it in any kind of formulation, rinse off formulation, even if you're formulating for sensitive skin. So a survey was being carried out with a face wash wherein there was a control and another formulation in combination with Emisoft ECS22SB. So 66% of the people found that the one with Emisoft was more moisturizing after wash off, as compared to the conventional or the control sample. Here are again some of the very famous commercial references. They are using Emisoft from our Japanese principle. And here is the summary. So the possible claims are again similar like that of amylite, the previous surfactant. The dosages are again similar. You can use them as primary, secondary, or as an additive, and you can use it in any kind of rinse off formulation. So now this brings us to the end of our session one of the top Dermacare issue, the acne part, which was the most largest part to work upon because it is the focus of global market. Now coming on to the second solution, which is moisturization. So moisturization, as you can see towards the right side of the slide, it is solution to contact dermatitis, eczema, psoriasis, and dry skin. So most of the people are using our moisturizing ingredients into formulations that acts as the supportive therapy for these type of conditions. So moisturization, as we all know, plays very important role. And chemical irritants from soaps, chemicals, or maybe lotions, shampoos with harsh chemicals, they actually give rise to, they actually trigger the dermatitis and eczema conditions. Also some of the API, they are very effective, but sometimes they are very harsh onto the skin and hairs. So they actually trigger the conditions like dermatitis and eczema. And if you use the ingredients in combination, they will reduce the harshness of those kinds of chemicals. Coming on to the skin structure, again, there's a difference in the skin structure when it comes to a healthy skin and dry skin. As you can see, there's protective skin oil in case of healthy skin, but there's no protective skin oil in case of dry skin. Now, because there's no protective skin oil in case of dry skin, it results in the loss of moisture. And when the moisture goes out of the skin, it brings in the entry of bacteria, viruses, and harmful substances into the skin. So this is the main problem when it comes to the dry skin. Now, having an understanding of the main problem, we have various concepts to improve this condition. So, for example, you improve the rate of transepidermal water loss, or you improve the rate of surface water loss, or maybe the rate of water binding ability to the stratum corneum. So, loss of integrity of the barrier function is a central factor in the development of dry skin condition and eczema. So the typical solutions are the application of emollients and humectants in these kinds of conditions. So here is the first concept, NMF concept, which I mentioned a little in my session one. So NMF concept, I told you that uh, NMF is something which is already present in our skin, the natural moisturizing factor. And when there's a unbalance in the NMF in the skin, it results in the scaly skin. So here you can see in the normal skin, there's a perfect balance of NMF, there's adequate amount, but in the scaly skin, there's a shortage of NMF and the intracellular lipid. So we have our first ingredient over here, which is Produce 600. It is stabilized blend of amino acids. Now the catch over here is it is actually developed in such a way that it is modeled after the amino acid composition of natural skin moisturizing factor. So as you can see towards the left hand side, it is the amino acid composition of skin's natural moisturizing factor, and towards the right hand side, it is the structure of Produce 600. So you can see it is almost same. So when you apply a formulation with Produce 600, you have improvement in the atopic skin because it actually reduces the transepidermal water loss, it increases the skin elasticity, and you are giving back the NMF to the skin. So that is very effective. So sorry, this is the comparison with the control. On the left cheek, the Produce 600 formulation was applied, and there was surely an increase in the skin capacitance. So when it comes to recovery as well, the relative skin capacitance was more with Produce 600 as compared to placebo. These are some of the commercial references. I'm sure you would have seen some of these commercial references at your home as well. So they are already using our Produce 600. And here is the summary. So this blend which we are offering is again halal certified, it is preservative free, the minimum dosage is 1%, and you can use it in n number of formulation, whether it is leave on formulation or a rinse off formulation. Plus the sensorials are excellent over here because of the structure of the molecule itself. Coming on to the second concept, the ceramide concept, which again I mentioned in my session one in the skin and hair essentials part. So ceramide concept is something wherein the ingredient is being formulated, not formulated, but is being designed after the structure of intercellular lipid. For example, towards the left hand side, you can see the composition of intercellular lipid, and towards the right hand side, you see the molecule LDPS203. So this is actually our ingredient, which is also called as pseudoceramide by most of our customers, because the structure of the LDU is almost similar to that of the intercellular lipids. So this is preservative free, this is very safe. We also have the eco certified grade available, and having the structural similarity with the intercellular lipid, when you give some kind of formulation with LDU, it acts like that of the ceramide. For example, you can see towards the right hand side image, there was a test being carried out. The skin was initially being damaged artificially, and then there was applied the control petrolatum. Model A is the actual ceramide and model B is LDU. So as you can see, the LDU and ceramide worked almost similar, and the results were almost similar. So our customers do called it as natural ceramide or maybe pseudoceramide, and because it have the skin repairing effect, it also acts in case of hair, which we'll see in the next slide. So the main advantage over here is it is a oily emollient, but there is no tackiness with this kind of ingredient, which is the problem with most of the ingredients. If they are oily emollient, they will give a very sticky feeling, but this is very unique about this ingredient. In case of cleansing products also, you can use this because it also gives the quick recovery time and also improve the sensory of the formulation. So again, you can see that in case of the combination formulation wherein there was a control of only SLS, and then there was a product wherein SLES and LDU were used together. So the transepidermal water loss was less, and the healthy skin was seen after 2 weeks when it was in case of LDU. Coming on to the hair care application, it gives the damage protection to hairs, and also it in case of the rinse off formulation also LD gives a very good rinsing effect as well as the after feel to the hairs. Here are again some of the commercial references. Now, again, I will tell you something that we have actually incorporated the hair care data in the moisturization part, because again, moisturization is important for skin as well as hair. So we will look at the hair care part in a different sector, but these are some of the ingredients that goes for both the therapies. So these are some of the commercial references and summary. As you can see, you can use it into n number of formulations: skincare, hair care, even for color cosmetics. It goes even for baby care formulations, the sunscreens. The dosage is again very small. This is a premium kind of ingredient. Amitos are another ingredient which we actually have already seen in case of anti-acne. It also gives long-lasting moisturization, as I have already mentioned. So this is the anti-wrinkle and pore minimization effect, the pore tightening effect with amitos are. So again, as you see, apart from the anti-acne and all other activities which we have already seen, this is again one more activity. The pore minimization and anti-wrinkle effect is something which people are always looking for. So amitos R is truly a multifunctional ingredient with such a minimum dosage. Promois hydromilk. Promois hydromilk is actually hydrolyzed milk protein. So it gives a very good moisturizing effect. it is derived from the milk protein, so it has the goodness of milk protein. Then it also gives the skin protection effect, hair conditioning effect, and it also aids in the foaming. So you can also use it in a number of rinse off formulations, and generally it is being used into face washes or those kinds of formulations. So here you can see it gives a very good skin protection effect. Again, it was combined with SLS solution, 3.5%, and you can see that the skin protection effect was very nice, and it was not irritant to skin at all. When it comes to hair care, it repairs the damaged hair and also improves on the foam. So it actually volumizes the foam when used in combination with other conventional surfactants. So you can actually combine your conventional surfactant with the hydrolyzed milk protein, improve the efficacy of your formulation along with good foaming. Here are some of the commercial references from skin and hair area, and then this is the summary. So the dosage is 0.5 to 3%, can be used into leave on rinse of formulation, skincare, hair care, doesn't matter. You can use it in any kind of formulation. These are the possible claims that you can go for. This is another ingredient which is again a skincare and hair care multifunctional ingredient. The main activity is the moisturizing effect because of the film forming. So this is sodium polyaspartate. This molecule you might have seen in some of the formulations on the label with the inky name. So this actually, when it was compared to glycerin, the moisturization was very nice, and there was also improvement in the damaged skin. The catch point over here is it gives the conditioning even after stopping the application. So as you can see, in comparison with control, after 2 weeks and 2 weeks 72 hours, we have the comparison. The SPA 30B continued to give the moisturizing effect to the skin. Similarly, it has a role in hair damage repair as well. So when it was combined with the hair care formulation, it damaged the repair hair and the cuticles. It also prevents the hair fly. Now this is again one of the uh, you know concern when it comes to females specifically. They are very much concerned about the hair fly and all when they are outside. So in fact, specifically in case of rainy days, so it is one of the concerns. So it also prevents the hair fly. Here are the commercial references for skincare and hair care with Aquadew. And here is the summary, overall summary for the ingredient. Coming on to the another issue, that is alopecia. So alopecia, the solution is hair growth. Our ingredients work on the hair growth phases. And here is our first ingredient, the Fuji mulberry root extract. So this is from the root bark of Morus alba, which is found in the Japanese forest. Beta tocopherol is the main component over here. It modulates the hair growth cycle and promotes the proliferation of the hair follicles. So it basically promotes the expression of hair growth factors. And this molecule can be used in case of diffuse alopecia as well as AGA. That means male and female, both of them can use this kind of uh, formulation irrespective of the gender. So the recommended dose is again different for both of them, and because we have two different grades of this, which I'll again discuss now. So here you can see that in comparison to minoxidil, the VEGF expression was more. VEGF is vascular endothelial growth factor, which is important in case of hair growth. So here is the comparison data. We all know that in India, minoxidil is the drug that is being most commonly used in case of hair growth formulations. So you can again have a combined effect with FMRE, or maybe you can use FMRE alone for the hair growth. We also have the clinical data for the same. Here, the studies talk about the different age groups of male. The different age groups, as you can see, age 32, 36, 30, 57, 50, then 38, 20, 28. So there was very evident hair growth when they used FMRE. We also have another grade of FMRE, which is a non-alcoholic grade. Previous one was the alcoholic grade. This is the non-alcoholic grade, because sometimes companies come up and they say that we want a hair growth formulation, but that should not be having alcohol in it. So in that case, we recommend FMREC, which is the grade. And here the Inky name is different because the composition is slightly different, and which also reduces its which increases its concentration level and in turn reduces the dosage. So here is the study, the clinical data available. So this is with women, and as you can see, it's a 65-year-old woman, 77-year-old woman, 63 and 69 years. So you can see at such age also people are having the hair growth by using these kinds of formulations. Here are some of the commercial references, as you can see. So FMRE is also being used by the typical pharmaceutical industries. For example, Takeda Pharmaceutical is a very famous pharmaceutical industry, and they are using FMRE for formulations of
Um, the audience, there seems to be some issue at Ms. Pooja's end, requesting you to be patient with us till we resolve this problem. Requesting the audience to post your question in the chat box.
I am extremely sorry for that network issue from my side.
No
I'll
issues.
just try
Yeah,
connecting.
yeah, thank you. Uh, Requesting all the audience to please post your questions in the chat box.
Okay, so shall I continue? Is it visible?
Not yet.
Let me know once that is visible.
Yeah, sure.
Is that visible?
Not yet. Uh,
Okay.
Ms. Pooja, you've done a fabulous job in actually, sharing such wealth of information. Our audience is really appreciating your efforts.
Thank you very much for that. Okay.
Yeah,
Is
we
that
can do that.
visible now?
Yeah, yeah.
It's visible, right?
Yes, you can
Okay,
start.
so let us continue. Yeah. So we have seen about hair growth. Now we are turning into hair care. So we have first ingredient as vegetable keratin. Now you see keratin is already into the trend. We have formulations with keratin protein, specifically the shampoos and conditioners. But there are people who don't want to use keratin because of its animal origin. So we bring vegetable keratin to you, which is actually from the pea protein it is. And we all know that pea is a power food. And there's again a trend being going on where people are using the food ingredients into the topical formulations. So this is the best example where you can use the power of food, the pea protein, the ingredient into your formulation. And as you can see towards the right side of this slide, it is 4 times more efficacious as compared to soybeans, 2.7 times than carrot, and 40 times than wheat. So you have goodness of all these proteins when you use the pea protein in your formulation. Structurally, when you go to see, it is similar to the keratin, the vegetable keratin, the pea protein. It is similar structurally to that of keratin, and that's how it gives this hair strength that is equivalent to keratin. As you can see here, the study talks about the tensile strength of the hair, and here is the comparison data with vegetable keratin and the typical keratin. So the effect is almost similar. The moisturizing effect is 125 times more and on the damaged hair as compared to the conventional proteins. It also improves the sensorials and also improves the foaming of the formulation. So you can again use it in the foaming formulations, whether it is skincare or hair care, doesn't matter, because pea is a protein. The power food actually works upon hair as well as the skin, healthy skin as well. So you can use it on a daily basis. And there are some very famous companies that are using this pea protein. And here is the summary. We do have the Cosmos approved ingredient available with us, the grade available with us. See, when you say Cosmos approved, it automatically turns into the natural and vegan concept, because it is again the EcoCert material. So the dosage is again very small, so you can use it in all kinds of leave on and hair care and skincare formulations, as well as the range of formulations. Coming on to the second ingredient, which is vegetable silicone. Again, very interesting one, because silicones are generally being used into hair care formulations and sometimes also in case of skincare formulations in case of serums. So if you want to replace the silicone from your molecule from your formulation, you can go for the vegetable silicone. This is again, the source is same, pea plant. So it is the derivative from the pea protein, and it actually forms a pseudo cuticle layer over your hair. So as you can see, the damaged hair are being taken care of by vegetamite because it forms a film. It is a surface damage repair active. So it actually forms a film over your hair, and that film is not something which will have the build-up effect. So it will give the non-build-up effect, and it will give a very smooth feel to your hairs like that of this silicone, but it will not form the stacks of like that of the silicon. So here is the comparison data with control and silicon. After the 20th treatment, the cuticles cuticle lift up was repaired with the vegetamide like that of silicon, but again there was no buildup. Here are some of the commercial references of shampoos, hair treatments. And here is the summary. Again, it is natural and preservative free. The dosage is very low. You can put it in any kind of hair care formulation, whether leave on or rinse off, doesn't matter. Another ingredient is amino react. Now, this is very interesting because in the market, everyone is talking about the anti-aging creams for skin. But this is an ingredient that goes for the aging care for hairs. Now, we all know because of the aging process, we lose our hair, and not only hair, but we lose the volume of our hair. Now that volume is being lost because of the depletion of beta layer from the CMC from our hair structure. So this ingredient, the sodium tosyl valinate, so this ingredient actually works on the beta layer which is being lost in the aging process. It actually works on this beta layer. It revives the beta layer which was removed because of aging, and it gives body to your hair. The volume of your hair gets improved. So this is basically the aging care for your hair. Here is the summary for the same. Protosyl LH, this is a cross polymer. This is a multifunctional hybrid polymer. It works on the damaged hairs and it gives n number of effects. Also, there's a non-buildup effect with amodimethicone. So, amodimethicone is generally being used into hair care products, hair conditioners, and shampoos for the smooth gliding effect and for giving a very good sensorial feel. So when it was combined with Protosyl LH, there was not the build-up effect, which is the issue with amodimethicone. Also, it is cost effective and you can use it at very low dosage. It also gives the glossy, smooth feel to the skin. It can also be used into skin care sunscreens. For example, people are using it because it gives the water resistance to your formulation. So it is there with 0.7% of Protosyl LH. You can have the water resistance into your formulation as well. Here are some of the commercial references again from hair care sector as well as the skincare sector. Some of the very famous brands you can see. And here are the possible claims, efficacies, and applications and dosage. Coming on to scalp care. So scalp care basically is the combination of moisturization and anti-dandruff. So the solution to seborrheic dermatitis, the ingredients you will see now, you must be familiar with this ingredient, amitos R. This is coming for the third time in the presentation. The reason being it is such a beautiful multifunctional ingredient that it goes into all these sectors. See, for example, you can see the dandruff prevention effect. It improves on the dandruff and the scalp itching that is there because of the dandruff. So again, the skin microbiome comes into picture. Malchazia furfur, the fungi that is responsible for the seborrheic dermatitis, the dandruff. So it is not utilized by Malchazia furfur and gives the anti-dandruff effect. And also the long-term moisturization improves on the scalp itching. So here are the commercial references from the hair care segment with Amitos R. And here are the possible claims that you can see. Zinc PCA, again, the familiar compound, you can see it can also have the effect on the oily dandruff and dry dandruff because it acts upon various aspects that are essential to treat these kinds of areas. For example, sebum control, antifungal therapy, and the moisturizer in case of anti-dandruff. So we have the sebum control data. Here you can see the comparison with climbazole and zinc pyridine, which is generally being used into anti-dandruff shampoos. You might have seen this into various anti-dandruff formulations. So you see that zinc PCA gives much better activity when combined with these ingredients or even when used alone. Zinc gluconate, we have already seen this data because it is related to sebum secretion, and in case of dandruff also, the sebum secretion plays an important role in case of oily dandruff. So here are the commercial references for hair care with zinc PCA. And here is the summary wherein you have all the possible claims and the dosage. So again, zinc PCA you can use in skin care, hair care, scalp care, all of them. Produce 500. Produce 500 is another ingredient which is again the stable amino acid blend. Now you have seen a similar ingredient in the previous slides. Produce 600 it was. So Produce 600 was into skincare because of the amino acid composition. In case of Produce 500, the composition matches to the CMC from the hair care, the cell membrane complex structure. So this is modeled after the hair structure, Produce 500. So, it has the compound of sodium PCA, the arginine, and the amino acid mixture. So all these three actually work on various issues. For example, sodium PCA and PCA works on the wet friction reduction. The arginine works in the anchoring of amino acids to the hairs. The amino acids actually improves the tensile strength. So this is again the blend of amino acids that gives you a very good hair care result. It also improves in the luster of hair. Here are some of the very famous examples of commercial references that are using Produce 500 in the formulation. And here is the possible claim. For example, this is also halal certified and preservative free. The dosage differs depending upon your use, whether it is a rinse off formulation or a leave on formulation. Coming on to antibacterial antifungal, which is the solution to our problem number 6 and 7, we have broad spectrum antimicrobial and antiviral agents. Lunar silver is actually the colloidal silver solution. Now we all know that silver is a very good antimicrobial agent. So we have this lunar silver, which actually has very broad spectrum activity for various bacteria, fungi, and viruses. It also exhibits the antiseptic action at low dosages, and the main important part is it is a replacement for parabens. So you can claim your formulation paraben free if you are using lunar silver as the only preservative over here. You can see the antibacterial, antifungal, and antiviral efficacies against these specific organisms. I need not read out the organism names, because when I say it is broad spectrum, it automatically covers the most important bacteria and fungi in that. So you can see the soap taste as well. Again, we have a different grade for lunar silver, which is natural preservative. The other one was lunar silver CS. This is lunar silver CA. Here we have the data for its natural index and the natural origin index as well. The efficacies are similar. This is broad spectrum, and this was the test that was being carried out in case of inoculated microbes, and there was reduction in the number of microbes. 99% jump kill is another data that we have for this ingredient, and you know this is a very trending claim in the new era, wherein all the companies want the data for 99% jump kill on the rinse off formulations. So this is the ingredient that you can use. These are various commercial references for lunar silver CA and CS. Again, hair care, skin care, any type of formulation you can use them, rinse off or leave on. So this is the summary of lunar silver. The dosages are again very small, depending upon the effective therapy area which you want to. Though dosages actually then differ what kind of efficacy you need. CAE. CAE is actually a cationic surfactant which exhibits the disinfectant and antimicrobial property. So basically, this cationic surfactant is generally being used into hair care in some cases because it also prevents the static electricity and has the conditioning effect on the hairs. And as you can see, it again has number of possible claims. It is preservative free, it is eco certified, so again goes for natural and vegan. It is biodegradable and very safe to use. If you go to look at the cytotoxicity and biodegradability data, so it is again very safe to use. So here we have the comparison with the conventional agents that are generally being used in those kinds of areas. The broad spectrum antimicrobial activity is in front of you, and it is also active against the axillary odorous bacteria. So again, it has got a very wide application part when it comes to the application of CAE. Here you can see the comparison with the benzalkonium chloride. Now, benzalkonium chloride is a very famous ingredient in pharma, which is generally being used into hospital hand rubs and sanitizers in some cases. Specifically for hospital pharmacy, this is a very important ingredient. Also in case of industrial liquids. So as you can see, there is a comparable, the comparable data with the CAE when it is combined with the benzalkonium chloride. So most of the companies are using it in combination with the ingredient. Another ingredient, chlorhexidine gluconate, again very famous in pharmaceutical industry. You all must be aware of this ingredient. So again, there is a comparison data with chlorhexidine gluconate as well. And the CAE also exhibits the hepatitis B surface antigen activity, the inactivation of this activity. So it is also a good antiviral, and it actually inactivates the enzyme by 90% in 1 minute. So you see, this is a very versatile ingredient. It is a cationic surfactant with a broad spectrum antibacterial activity. And here are some of the commercial references. Purposely I have mentioned the benzalkonium chloride combination in the commercial reference, so that you know that it can be combined with the APIs and you can have number of products over here. Here is the summary, which we have already seen in bits and parts in our previous slide. Coming on to the next issue, sunscreen, sunburn. So the solution is sunscreen. So we actually offer the aqueous dispersion of sunscreens. We do have the silicone dispersion and other dispersions as well. But today we will just talk about aqueous dispersions, because this is already the award-winning ingredient in the HPCI exhibition. So the Innovation Zone award-winning ingredient. So basically, these are the aqueous dispersions of the inorganic sunscreen agents. So UV filters, as you all know, you have organic UV filters and inorganic UV filters. People opt more for inorganic UV filters because they are considered safe as compared to the organic UV filters. But they have some disadvantages. Like if you just choose upon the inorganic UV filter, you will find it patchy. But the advantage with this aqueous dispersion is they give high SPF performances and maintain the transparency at the same time. The textures are excellent. There is good water repellency. There is no patchiness, and also effective UV protection. So you can see there is transparency after coating. When it was compared to conventional UV filter, there was no white patch as seen with the conventional. The water repellency was also good. So the previous one was the titanium dioxide. This is the zinc oxide. So again, these are the two most famous UV filters that you will see in case of sunscreens: titanium dioxide and the zinc oxide. So this actually uh, is the aqueous dispersion itself. The claims are similar. The only difference is titanium dioxide shields the UVB and zinc oxide shields the UVA. So again, the transparency and the water repellencies are similar. Here we also have the relationship between the SPF and the powder content. So because one of them is a 50% active and one of them is 60% active. So accordingly, you can choose upon what kind of SPF you are targeting on, and accordingly you can choose the dosage of this aqueous formulation. Here are some of the commercial references. As you can see, this is also being used into baby sunscreens, so you can imagine how safe it is. And sunscreens for baby is again one of the trend that is much more flourished in the global market, and it is slowly coming to India as well. So here it is the summary. So possible claims, as you can see: paraben-free, UV protection. The EWG rating is also good, and all the applications we have already seen. The sunscreens, and it can also be used in combination with the organic sunscreen. MKR1S is again another ingredient. This is again titanium dioxide, but this is not a dispersion. This is a powder. And we again have two grades, which is one of them is hydrophobic, one of them is hydrophilic. So sometimes it is combined with the organic UV sunscreens or maybe other inorganic UV sunscreens, because it also has the UV shielding effect. It is non-patchy and it gives some kind of instant whiteness also. So we will also see this ingredient in case of depigmentation therapy, because sometimes people want instant fairness. So this is the commercial references. As you can see, it's a UV care replacement moisturizing makeup cream. So MKR1S is also one of the versatile ingredient that goes for sunscreen as well as for instant whiteness and glow cream. This is the summary for the ingredient. Exit F series is the hexagonal shaped zinc oxide. So this is the zinc oxide, which is hexagonal in shape, again, flaky form, and it actually has the NIR shielding, which we have already seen as one of the trending claim. So it was being found that hexagonal shape is more active as compared to formless zinc oxide when it comes to near infrared shielding. Here there are some commercial references for sunscreen as well as the cosmetic products. And here are the possible claims. Silosoma. It is the encapsulated sunscreen. This is very safe to use in the formulations when your target audience is the people with sensitive skin or baby skin or people with atopic dermatitis. You can surely use Silosoma because it is the encapsulated sunscreen. Here, the organic UV filters are being encapsulated in the silicone resin polypeptide. So when you apply this sunscreen on the screen, the UV filters, the organic UV filters will not get absorbed to the screen. They will remain on the surface, and hence you will have the UV protection as well as the safety for your skin, because the organic sunscreens will not be able to penetrate inside the skin. This silicone, the polypeptide shell will not break upon application. So sensorial wise, they are excellent. Silosoma can also be used in sunscreens for hair care. Now, this is again a very unique concept that is again being into the trend in the global market, and it is coming down to India slowly. These are various commercial references. You can see it has skincare as well as hair care commercial references for the sunscreen protection and overall good sensorials. Here is the possible claim. Coming on to the second last part, the skin lightening depigmentation. Instant fairness, as I already mentioned, the titanium dioxide, it gives instant glow to the skin, so you can use it in the fairness creams, and also you can have some kind of SPF claim depending upon what kind of dosage you are using. Here are some of the commercial references. Here is the summary. Again, since this was a repetitive ingredient, I went a bit fast over here. Amitose HGA is another advanced vitamin C derivative. Earlier we discussed about amitose MGA. This is amitose HGA, which also has a unique lightening mechanism. It is a very good molecule, and if you want to get into the details of mechanism, you can go to the YouTube and just type amitose HGA. So you will have a mechanism for its activity on the unique lightening mechanism you can have a look upon. Here is the comparison data with nicotinamide, kojic acid, and beta-arbutin. These are the ingredients that dermats love, which I mentioned in my session 1. So in case of depigmenting products, they usually use for kojic acid and beta-arbutin nicotinamide, but here you can see amitose HGA is much better in comparison to all these conventional ingredients in case of skin lightening. Here is the clinical data for the same. As you can see, it's a 16-week study, and it hid the spots, and the melanin production was reduced. Here are some of the commercial references. So vitamin C is the concept here you can have a look upon. And here are the possible claims. Again, it is also patented. Ferulic acid is again very famous ingredient that has a number of activities starting from whitening, anti-aging, skin protection, SPF, UV absorption, anti-inflammatory, and the list goes on. Here you can see the UV absorption effect, the prevention of erythema, which is important, and you can see that the redness was actually reduced after the continuous application of the ferulic acid. You can see the antioxidant and whitening effect over here, again in comparison with the kojic acid. So you see that this is again a very versatile ingredient. Here are some of the commercial references, as you can see, again from skincare to sunscreens to color cosmetics. And here is the summary for your reference. Phytic acid is again a very versatile ingredient, which is a eco-certified one. We have already seen this ingredient in anti-acne segment. And here is the recent study wherein it was used in the peeling process for the facial melasma patient. And there was the improvement in the facial melasma when it was combined with phytic acid. So it also induces the normalization of hyperthermic skin, which is usually during the menstrual period. So it can be also used for female with that kind of issue wherein they have the red flushed skin when they have the hyperthermic phase. Here are some of the commercial references and the possible claims. Coming on to the last part, the anti-aging, anti-wrinkle. Produce 600 we have already seen in case of moisturization. So this is the additional data. It also gives the anti-wrinkle, anti-aging effect. So this can again be used into anti-aging creams. We have amitos, which I already mentioned. We have 6 types of amitos. 2 of them we have already seen. Now we will be talking about the amitos 3J, which is a basic type of vitamin C, the anti-aging vitamin C. The active content is 21.1%. This is again patented and preservative free. It has the antioxidant effect, the ROS scavenging ability, and here you can see variety of physiological antioxidant effects. The anti-wrinkle effect, suppression of inflammation, improvement of luminosity, and normalization of skin regeneration. And here you can see all the physiological activities that are actually required for anti-aging effect. So here is the clinical data for anti-wrinkle effect with vitamin C. So this is the data for 8 weeks study. So it was the wrinkles were reduced. And here is the most important data, the blue light protection, which we already discussed in case of the trending claims, the blue light care. So you can use this vitamin C derivative to have the claim of blue light care as well. Stability in cosmetics is very good, which is again a challenge for a formulator while using vitamin C. So you can use this vitamin C derivative in your formulations. This is also economical, taken into the consideration the Indian market. Here are the various commercial references, and here is the summary for the amitos 3GA. Coming on to the last ingredient of our session, it is Magic Lift 2 weeks, which we have already discussed in case of hair growth, but there I just restricted myself to the hair growth. Now we will just have a look about the hair, the skin care as well. So it actually promotes the collagen, hyaluronic acid promotion, anti-glycation effect. It's a natural collagen booster. So basically, it is the concentrated polyamine. Now, polyamines are putrescine, spermidine, spermine. So you can see that these polyamines are actually important for your skin to be youthful. So when you apply a formulation with soyamine, soyamine is the inky name for Magic Lift 2 weeks. So you have the revitalization and remodeling of the skin because it works on the dermal junction itself, and it maintains the youth of your skin by reducing the wrinkles and the pores, and it also provides the skin evenness. Also, it works on the skin sagging. Now, sagging, as we all know, is a sign of aging. The cheeks and the skin sags over the period of time. So it actually uplifts the skin of your cheek, and hence it is actually known as the magic lift 2 weeks because it starts showing its effect with the second week itself. Here are the commercial references, and here is the summary. So these are some of the current attractions for derma. Now I'm not going into the details of this, but just to give you a brief, these are the areas where you can also think of working upon because these are also trending. So these are wound healing, anti-pollution, skin microbiome, chemical peels, encapsulation, and stem cell and placenta extracts from plants. So we do offer ingredients for all these areas as well. And now coming on to the last part, this is the complete summary because I know it was such a long session and too many ingredients for you to remember. So I have made your job easy by providing a complete summary. You can just have a look over here quickly. So here I have mentioned all the ingredients with the concepts that they can fit in, with the possible claims, with the activity that they can provide, and it is again in the same order from which we have seen the overall issues and the solutions to all those respective issues. So as you can see, we have seen too many things at one time. That's why I mentioned that please take a pen and paper with your by your side and jot down the important points. So this is the overall summary, and these are our valued customers. As you can have a look, all the big brands are already our customers, whether they are from cosmetic industry or pharma, derma, cosmetic industry. So all these are our clients, and with this I would just like to mention that if you have any queries or any interest, you can write a mail to us on technical@westerncommercial.in. Please note down this email ID. And if you have any interest in any kind of project, or maybe in any kind of ingredient, you can connect to us anytime. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Pooja, for such an informative session. I
Thank you.
believe there's a wealth of information available on each of this topic, and you've done a commendable job in concising every information. One of the things I would like to appreciate is that you have brought science in cosmetics. The way you elaborated on the application of each of these ingredients, supporting it with scientific data, definitely it give made it more credible information. And as a researcher, what resonated with me was the fact that there's so many molecules which have been generated using basic building bodies. Definitely, I think it's going to change the way we look at cosmetic science. It's always considered as less important, more commercial, more glamorous, but you have made it very informative. Due to paucity of time, I would restrict our question to one fundamental question. Since you are a pharmacist, you're familiar with the technical rigors a molecule goes through before it is commercialized, before it sees the light of day in the market. When it comes to cosmeceuticals, what would you suggest would be the way to go ahead? If I have a molecule in the lab and I want to commercialize it. So, what would be the aspects which I need to consider? What would be the regulatory requirements I need to comply with before I think of commercialization or before I think of a technology transfer with companies like yours?
Okay. So to answer this, if you have already if it is a active that you have synthesized in your lab, what you can do is you can go for all the possible testings for your active that you have synthesized in the lab, for whatever efficacy you think that the active can be used upon. You can go for all the testings. You can have enough of documentation. Now documentation, what I mean here is, when you go for various testings for the efficacies, you maintain a proper record, and from wherever you are going for these stability testings or the efficacious testings, they have a protocol or a set format. So all this actually acts as the documentation for your molecule, and when you connect to any of the company with your molecule, so you can show all your documents that all these tests are being carried out and at various dosages, and also the safety is very important over here. So that is something where you actually have the catch upon, and if you are able to convince the company with this, you can get it commercialized from the company if they find it interesting.
So, do you have any specific website or regulatory, links which you could share with us so that we know what is expected out of us from the perspective of commercializing our, scientific knowledge?
Okay, so as of now, we do not have a link for this, but I shall surely get in connection with you regarding this, because we have a lot of things going on with this kinds of concepts, and I'll talk to you in personal for this. I would prefer that. And for
Okay.
other people, maybe what they can also do is they can try and connect to me. Even in fact, I have already given my email ID, so we can try for the collaboration thing as well.
Okay, thank you, Pooja. That was very positive. On this note, I would request Dr. Harita Desai to propose the vote of thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Pooja. Thank you, Ms.
Thank you,
Pooja.
ma'am.
It
Thank
was
you.
a
Thank
very
you.
enlightening talk. Today, if you see in the current scenario, cosmetics has played a major impetus and it has just overwhelmed the pharmaceutical market. And the students need to be enlightened regarding what are the prospective opportunities in the pharmaceutical market, as well as how the new excipients can be explored in the different versatile cosmetic formulations based on the different skin and hair conditions. So you have enlightened us all the students, faculty as well, and it was a very enlightening session. So I thank you on behalf of Bombay College of Pharmacy as well as Department of Pharmaceutics, Bombay College of Pharmacy, for giving your precious time and giving us this entire enlightening session. I thank all the delegates, all the students, undergraduate, postgraduate students, faculties for attending this webinar, half day webinar.
I look forward to interact with you all again and have a nice day. The feedback session will be active immediately. The feedback link will be active after the session is completed. So have a nice day all and thank you again, Pooja madam, for giving your valuable time.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you, BCP College. And thank you to all the attendees for attending the session so patiently. You can get it connection with me anytime. And please do fill up the feedback links, the feedback forms. That is very important for us as a company and also for college for their records. So please take out your 1 minute and fill up both the links for us. Thank you very
I
much.
request I request all the delegates to fill both the feedback forms. The feedback links are active now. You can fill up the forms. You can fill up the form till evening 4 p.m. Thank you everyone. Thank you, Pooja madam.
Thank you. Take care, everyone. Be
Yeah,
safe.
okay. Yeah.
Okay, bye bye. I'm signing off. Bye.
Bye.